Because I'm going to be real with you. All the D1 debates that I've seen so far, I have claimed that he's won every single one, even the one against Noodles. But from what I heard with the Spencer one, that apparently he lost that one. Like, really bad or something. I don't know. But alright, we're gonna be diving into the next video. Hopefully this one is not as one-sided either. Maybe it's contentious, maybe it is one-sided, I don't know. But from what I've heard with this debate is that apparently Spencer beat D1. From all the debates that I have seen between D1, D1 in my opinion has won them so far. He won the one against Noodles, he won the other ones as well. I can't remember the other ones exactly what it was, but I have reacted to multiple debates of his. So they're all on my playlist of Naruto, by the way, so if you guys want to check those out, you can. If I can find them, I'll put them in the link in the description down below as well. But anyways, we're going to get into this, and let's check it out. And, before we do start the video, I'm just going to give my generalized thoughts. Third-eyed Madara versus Sakura. So, if this were to actually happen, I do believe Madara would destroy Sakura, all versions, until it gets to the point where, like, she has her moment with Kaguya. Now, I'm going to be real with you. As crazy as it sounds, okay, technically that can be contentious, and you can argue all the semantics, or you can argue, like, of the whys and the hows, of she was even able to do that regardless, blah, blah. Now, and you name it. So there's ways to argue why Sakura doesn't scale still that high, even with the, mental amp or whatever, or that she does, blah, blah. It's a whole shit show. Trust me, I've seen it all, I've heard it all. But what we know bare minimum, concretely at least, Sakura would definitely get destroyed. All the other Sakuras, like the one next to KCM one in Sasuke, the one that is literally she literally hold her breath and was panicking because of how strong fucking one-eye Rinnegan Madara was, Then you have, like, even further where he gets 2 Rinnegans and he still shits on her effortlessly. Like, there's so much evidence out there, okay, to where Sakura was just nowhere near. You know what I mean? So I'm just putting that out there. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get into the whole, Kaguya Sakura moment thing. I'm assuming that's what Spencer's line of arguments and scaling will be, is with the mental amp Sakura. That would be the only thing that would make sense to me, unless there's something I'm just fucking missing. But yeah, that's my general thoughts overall on the topic of me, myself. Ken, do you have anything to add, or do you just want to get right into the debate?
See, I know what people generally like to argue when it comes to the Kaguya one.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think 3-eyed Madara still probably take that fight.
Yes, same. I do too.
Just because, like, we know, like, Mike Guy was, like, able to rip off, like, half of, like, one-eyed Madara's body.
Yeah.
And he was able to regen. So, like, there's nothing, like, even if, like, let's say, like, Sakura, like, puts her hand, like, right through Madara and, like, rips his heart out.
You just regen.
Like, well, there's also nothing stopping her. Like, the second she gets that hit in, there's nothing stopping, like, Limbo from doing the same to her. Yeah. And she can't survive that.
Yeah. Yeah, like even if you grant Sakura the mental amp and she could somehow speed blitz his Madara for one moment. It's one moment, by the way. It's not a constant mental amp. Don't forget that either. Okay, let's say we do even Steelman and grant that as well. Okay, great. She punches through, but then you would have to prove that that she can literally one-shot Jimmy Madara like One Punch Man type shit. And that's not fucking happening. Like, you would never be able to prove that. So,
one of the things, and there's no reason why he wouldn't be able to do this, but what if Madara, like, summons his Susanoo?
Yeah, like, he does Susanoo. Yes, and he should be able to do Susanoo. And the reason why we know that should definitely be possible is, like, obviously we can't concretely technically show it, but there's a lot more possibility-wise to support the notion that he can. Because, for one, the games show it. So, regardless how you feel with the games do show him using Susanoo. 2, okay, what's it called? He can use all his Rinnegan abilities. He can even use Kamui as well. All this shit while he's in that form. So we're going to just sit here and say he can't do Susanoo either, which is basically, combining both your eyes' abilities or just in one to create Susanoo. Like, that's just really weird to say that he can't do that. I don't understand that.
And the man can use his Susanoo with no eyes in his head. Exactly. Why wouldn't he be able to do it with the Rinnegan?
Exactly. That's just retarded. I don't understand that. So, like, you have all that evidence and to further support that as well. You have Shishri who's able to do it technically with one eye as well. Like, there's just so much for it.
Itachi did it while blind.
Yeah, Itachi did it while blind. Like, so, like, I just don't I don't know. Like I said, I feel like you're really pulling something out of your ass to really think that fucking. Sorry, this distracted me. Who the fuck would debate this? Boruto versus Oh my god. Okay, that's not even a debate, bro. But whatever. All right. But what's it called? But anyway, so like that's just all I'm gonna say. So if he does Susanoo, I don't want to fucking hear it. And then not only that, you even have the statement to where he says he has both Sasuke and Naruto's power. I know that's vague because all we do know concretely, he says like, "Oh, I have your Sage's 6 paths, Sage mode shit, and I have your Rinnegan, blah blah, whatever." That's what he does say verbatim, so we know he concretely he's referring to that. But he does eventually say like, we have the same powers, you name it, like we're practically the same. Let's see who's greater, basically. It's kind of similar to the whole Kakashi and Obito when they say, "Oh, we both have common, I'll win," or whatever, So you can take that as ever you want, but like I said, I just feel like there's so much more evidence that he can, and I don't want to hear it. Like she's not doing anything against fucking Susanoo. I just know. Like even like there's so much evidence with like her looking at Sasuke Susanoo, Naruto fighting against that Madara, three-eyed Madara. Even her watching the whole fight with Kakashi, Susanoo, and Kage, you name it, like she couldn't do anything at all. She had to be saved multiple times. Like I don't see that. I really don't. So, but anyways, we're gonna get into it. That's basically what our thoughts overall. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can make arguments for Sakura, and if you're a good debater, you could probably be able to argue why she would win, or maybe it is possible her mentally amped she could, whatever. But I just feel like narratively and all the other evidence, it's still in favor for Madara. That's just me, and Ken is along those lines as well, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before we start, like, if we were arguing, like, Sakura with, like, one mental amp, like Madara,
yeah,
why didn't she?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why did it never happen? Guess what? It never did. Instead, it was the opposite, her getting mentally fucked, mental nerfs, and etc. And also, the opportunities where she never did. And technically, actually, she does have a moment where, like, she sees Sasuke and Naruto doing everything. She goes full power, does 100 ceilings, charges at Madara, going full speed and everything. Like she was determined, and you name it. Like she literally has like a mental ant moment. Like this, all the evidence and context, and she's like, "I'll be the diversion and attack him or whatever." She goes full all at him, and she couldn't do anything. And she gets immediately no diffed. So
like limbo blocks. Right?
Yeah, the limbo blocks. Like not even that. Like just the real Madara stabs her instantaneously. And then she throws a punch in the limbo blocks there as well. So like, I don't know, bro. Like I said, it's, it is what it is. But we're going to watch this debate. We'll see and go from here. Could D1 pull it off? Absolutely. I feel like you could be able to argue both sides. So let's see if D1 wins or Spencer wins. Let's analyze. And at the end of the day, we're going to keep it a buck. If D1 won, you know what I mean, then me and Ken are going to say it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. If Spencer won, we're going to say he won. You know what I mean? There are a lot of dick riders. There are a lot of bias as well. I know Spencer.
I got no money on this. It doesn't affect me either way who wins.
Yeah, exactly. And so I know a lot of people do fuck with Spencer, and a lot of people, like, for some reason have negative relations with D1 or whatever. At the end of the day, I don't care about that either way. I don't care who you are, whatever. I'm just putting that out there too. I agree with Ken. But I do know a lot of people, popularity-wise, like to associate with Spencer more. So, and if that's the reason why he won and he didn't win, I'm putting that out there right now. I'm shutting that shit down too. So, but all right, we're going to get it. Let's do it. It's an hour long. We won't do many pauses either. We'll only do it if it's absolutely necessary or if Ken thinks it's enough as well.
Okay, D1. Let's make this under 45 minutes. Deal?
Deal.
Okay. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
They said under 45 minutes. They were close, though. They were close.
Well, okay, to be fair, we haven't seen the video yet, so maybe within 45 minutes, they've already finished it, and everything else is just fun, like packing or something.
True, yeah.
Scans will be posted in Scans or Scans 2. I don't care. Just tell me which one.
I mean, Scans. It doesn't matter. Scans. Just the first one. Scans, I guess. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
Okay. All right. Bet. So, right. We see. I'll just say that Madara, right? All he does is just fly up to the moon and just casts the IAT on Sakura, and there's nothing she could do about it. We know
unless
Sakura.
She's faster.
Hold on. Can I finish?
Sure.
All right. So we know Sakura can't fly. So if Madara just
Oh,
flies
I've
up to the
stuck in
moon
this
really?
debate.
and casts the IT, you think Sakura can fly?
Yeah.
Okay, show me her flying.
What the? Whoa!
I've seen this debate.
Yo. Okay, I'm really intrigued because I'm there with D1 as well. What the fuck? When could she fly? But okay, here we go.
Okay, she has the ability to hit or kick harder than Might Guy in the 8th gate, who can fly by pushing on compressed air, and even the 7th gate.
Do you know the definition of what flying is?
Are you talking about with wings? Are you talking about levitation?
No, flying. Flying. Do you know what flying means? Being able to move in the air freely without being able to do anything. Right?
Without being able to do anything, I think you should use.
So what my guy did was kick the air. Right? He's literally running on air. He's not flying.
D1,
He's just
I have a question for
on
you.
air.
D1.
What?
As long as she can maneuver herself in the air, does it matter whether it fits your definition of the word fly? No.
She can't maneuver herself throughout the air.
I just proved that she could.
No, you cannot.
Guy
No,
is able to turn himself using while he's using Sekizo.
That's while he's in 8th gate. Can Sakura use 8th gate?
She hits harder than that.
Prove she hits harder than that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So,
and just because you hit harder than someone doesn't mean you can do the same ability as they can.
Well, wait, you know that Guy is only doing this via kicking the air with such pressure, correct?
Because he's in 8th gate.
Yes, so then
right
if she can kick harder, then it wouldn't matter because she could do the same shit.
Okay, prove that she can kick, right, and punch harder than my guy.
Okay, so that if she can kick and punch harder than my guy, she can fly. Or
No.
she can maneuver herself in the air, excuse me.
No.
What else would there need to be?
Because there are multiple people that can kick and hit harder than my guy that cannot fly.
Okay, so from what we're hearing so far, so I see the angle Spencer's trying to play, which in my opinion is ratty. But anyways, what's called, and I see the angles D1 is doing some more logical, objective. Now, what I will say from what I heard so far, I do technically agree I agree with D1 to a degree. Because, for instance, we have characters like Naruto and Sasuke who should definitely be able to hit harder than Night Guy, or Guy, because, you know, we literally see them fucking up the same Madara, while Naruto's just in base with Sage Mode, and he's doing some shit, you name it. So we know they're eventually scaling over. Like, me and Ken really don't have to explain the fucking domino scaling. Everybody should know this by now. But, you know, we get the Jubito, you have Jubi Madara with one Rinnegan, then you have him with the Divine Tree, then you have the three-eyed, then you have second Rinnegan, Divine Tree Madara, then you have fucking three-eyed, all eyes Madara, okay? So, it's different levels and power gaps of Madara. You name it. Guy was only able to basically give a beating to the weakest Madara out of all those versions. Okay? So, you go along that scaling, whatever, you name it, etc. Like, Sasuke and Naruto can be able to hit hard. We've literally seen it, okay? What's it called? So, therefore, it's just, like, if they can have the AP to do those things, and they're not even flying or doing, like, the air, thing, or, whatever, then there's no reason to believe that Sakura could do the same, even if you could prove that she could hit harder. Now, obviously, that's a whole thing with proving whether Sakura can hit harder as well, which that's why he's asking for that as well. But with the whole, even if she could put that makes sense. I understand what D1's saying. Maybe I'm tripping, but what do you think, Ken?
See, realistically, at this point in time, I would say the point's going to D1.
Yeah.
But like I said a couple minutes ago, I have actually seen this debate. So I do know that eventually it does go more towards Spencer. But at this point, I would say D1's getting it. Spencer actually hasn't said why Sakura would be hitting harder than my guy. Okay. But if he can prove that, then that would help him.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll kind of go that route. And another thing too, obviously this is irrelevant. If it's not mentioned in the debate or whatever, then like it's not gonna help. But I'm just putting this out there. I'm pretty sure the data books also state with the whole air current thing that's only a technique designed for Guy. I could be tripping, could be wrong, but I'll have to go back to the data books. I'm pretty sure that's stated that it's a technique that you have to learn.
So the way the chakra goes through the air.
Gotcha.
I think you're right there.
Yeah. So like I could have sworn where it's literally stated that it's a technique that you have to learn and master, and obviously then you would have to prove that Sakura could also learn and master that technique on the fucking fly. And I'm gonna be real with you, with the evidence that we see in the war, you name it, to where she never does that ever. So like, there you go, you have that evidence, never shown whatever. And the point where that would make sense for her to do it against someone like Kage who can also fly, she doesn't. Instead, she needed Kakashi with his Susanoo to lift her all the way up in the air so she can jump off and then punch her. So there's a lot of contrary evidence to that, but either way, we'll let this go and see. And Ken says he already seen this debate, which I'll be real with you, Ken. If you don't want to watch this since you already seen this, we could probably just end this here. It's kind of a waste of time.
Oh no, it's a good debate.
Okay, all right. So we'll continue going it then. So I would have just done this on my own time then or something, but and then we'll keep it running and let's see what happens. Apparently, Spencer does eventually take the lead from what Ken's saying.
It's I didn't recognize the debate up until the point where I heard the roots of them flying. Anyway, yeah, let's just continue because it's a good one.
Okay.
Well, if he's doing it only through the force of his kicks and his hits, right? Then those people would be able to fly.
No, that is just him using his Sekugo. That's a technique of Mike Dot.
Sekizo.
Whatever it's
Sekizo.
called.
What is Sekizo? Come on.
That is a technique of Mike Guy.
What
right,
is
that he used
Sekizo?
in 8th gate, right? Now,
what is Sekizo specifically? First of all, you're wrong.
It's the ability of Mike Guy. So you saying that just because Sakura can hit,
yes, that was circular.
As hard as I,
you said Sekizo is Mike Guy's ability.
Means that
I'm asking you, what is Sekizo?
Hold on. Can I finish? Right. So basically, it's a bombard of attacks just going through the air. While kicking the air, he gets faster while he's doing it. Right. So what I'm saying is that just because Sakura can hit and kick just as hard as Guy means that she can use the same ability as him, the Sekugo, whatever it's called.
You know that Sekizo is just weaponizing of air pressure through your great attack power. So yes,
prove
she could.
Sakura can use the technique. Go ahead.
She would have she would have greater amounts of attack potency. She would be granted it.
Oh my God! You're just saying just because she has greater AP means that she can use the same ability, which is flawed, right? We know Naruto AP, right, will be above Guy. Doesn't mean that he can use the same ability. That is flawed.
Gios, excuse me, sorry. In D1, right? I'm going to conclude on this point of like whether or not she can use Sekizo and therefore fly. Is that fine with you? Because I think I've delivered an argument that defeats what you're saying.
Sure, and I think I fucking debunked the fuck out of that bitch.
Okay.
Argument. So you can go ahead.
All right, so they're concluding on that whole point and everything. Now, the next thing D1 does eventually bring up is kind of similar to what I was saying beforehand. You have Naruto and Sasuke, you know what I mean? Where they basically obviously should be stronger than that guy, you name it, and they're not over here flying on fucking currents and name it. Instead, Sasuke has to use his Susanoo. Naruto has to use his levitation flying abilities, you name it. So that's also another good example to kind of bring up. And it would kind of just how D1 basically explained, like, it makes sense, you know what I mean? I get the direction Spencer is going, but like, once again, all because you have the power or let's say stronger AP, which once you have to prove that, which that's another thing, like, he didn't prove that either yet. Like, D1 did ask him to prove that, and I'm assuming they're about to get to that. But even if you did prove that, which just kind of goes back to what D1 was saying before, okay, doesn't necessarily grant you the technique. Sure, you can have the ability to do the technique, possibility-wise or whatever, but doesn't mean it's granted automatically. I mean, just like Naruto and Sasuke, you name it. And anybody else, you know what I mean? Like, we don't even see anybody in Boruto doing that shit, yet we know all of them can fucking hit hard or whatever. So I definitely understand the reasoning and logic that D1 is saying in his arguments, and since he brought up another point to kind of support that notion further with the whole Naruto thing, I can see what he's going. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I do believe D1 could have done a better job. Probably could have said even way more evidence to show why Sakura just can't do that. But I guess with what he said as from there as enough, like whatever. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm capping. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I think D1 still got it. It was a high diff to get the point. You know what I mean? They both were doing pretty well, but I just don't feel like Spencer did a good enough job to really show like how that would automatically grant her that ability guaranteed. Like now she can just do it on the fly if she wants. Because if that was really the case, once again, like she should just do it, you know. But I don't know. That's just me though.
Well, this is like similar to like that last debate we were watching.
Yeah.
Where it's one of those things where he brought it up, but the other person didn't really refute why it wouldn't be true. Outside of just saying, well, it just wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And that's kind of D1's problem here, because Spencer's saying, well, she would be able to do it because she's able to replicate the way in which my guy can.
Yeah.
And the only rebuttal D1 has saying is like, well, it's a technique, but he never actually proved that you had to use a technique. There's no that my guy uses a particular technique with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're
Which
saying.
is why I think Spencer got the point. I think if he had argued like it is the technique specifically, he needs to do it and prove that maybe, but for me, he just never did that.
All right, no, that's fair. Absolutely. All right, we'll continue it on. Let's keep going.
You're not gonna talk to me or my arguments like that. I need you to
bitch,
calm
I'm
down.
gonna fucking talk to you whoever I fucking feel like it, bitch.
No, you're not gonna talk to me.
D1 just like starts losing it, going spurting, and then like Spencer's like immediately trying to shut that shit down. He's like, no, hell no, not in my home. This is my home, bitch. Like, oh man, here we go.
Black coat like that. You're gonna be quiet.
You ugly ass
be quiet. Be quiet, D1.
You nasty ass fucking overweighted bitch ass nigga. Shut the fuck up, bitch. You working the fucking Woody Walker talking about you dirty bitch nigga. Shut your fat ass up, bitch. I'll be the fucking bitch that wanna fuck up your
I'm gonna local mute D1 and then conclude. I'm gonna local mute D1 and then conclude because it just makes it easier for me.
Wait. Before y'all go on, I would like to step down as one of the judges. Thank you for your time.
Troy, what the fuck? No.
I heard everything.
I'm not judging this shit. It's already ass.
Troy, it's not gonna get any more spurgy. I promise. That's the last time. All right.
Okay.
I'll make sure to appease the monster. All right. So.
Yo, what the fuck?
I've made exceptionally clear.
I guess it's confirmed that Spencer isn't really known for like a packer or roaster either. Like, I'll be real, Spencer's kind of similar to me. Like, you know, I can roast and pack to a degree, but I'm not gonna be nowhere to the extreme or like go fucking, you know, try hard mode with that shit or whatever. Like, because I have heard Spencer like roast or make fun of other people too. So he can do it to a degree, but it's like nowhere to the extent of how like D1 or all these other people do it. So, or even like Alfro and you name it. Like, I don't know. I've realized that. Maybe I'm tripping. I haven't seen enough of Spencer, but that's just me.
Exceptionally clear, right? With no contention. Be quiet. With no contention in the idea. Please be quiet. I'm concluding. Thank God.
Go ahead, Spencer.
I've made exceptionally clear, with no true contention to these ideas, that Sekizo is exclusively the weaponization of air pressure through great force applied. I've then said Sakura would have greater force and therefore could use a Sekizo-like technique in order to maneuver herself in midair against Three-Eyed Madara. D1's only refutation was, well, this doesn't mean that she can use the technique of Sekizo. But I've responded to this by saying, if Sekizo is only a weaponization of air pressure due to having great force, then great force is all that's needed to conduct the technique. D1 simply goes back onto his argument, which is, it is a technique proof Sakura can use it when I already have. D1's refutation was circular, I called it out as such, and he never responds to that claim. So I conclude having one, that Sakura can use Sekizo if I give the evidence that Sakura has force relative to or greater than 8th Gate Guy.
That's another thing. Like, yeah, he didn't show that evidence to prove that she can punch harder yet. He didn't do that. I'm assuming he's doing that after, which is why he put in the if. So, but I'm just putting that out there. Like, he technically never proved that, and you know, if that's going to be your whole, I guess, argument, you name it, or whatever, what it's kind of functioning around, I'm pretty sure the scan should probably be thrown in there or whatever to, you know, to solidify that instead of being afterwards. But I guess if he shows it afterwards, whatever, you know, it should just go. But that's just,
yeah. I think this point was basically just the idea of if she can create that pressure, then she should be able to fly. I think that gets proven later, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but
okay, yeah, because like if he doesn't prove that, then that still doesn't go through. Because once again, D1 asked him to prove that she also can punch harder, which it never happened. It never came. they continue to argue whatever, and D1 gave his thoughts of why it doesn't make sense. He gave his, and they went from there, and that's it. You know, so, but yeah, anyways.
All right, let's see. D1, you can go ahead.
Now, since this fat bitch is fucking lying, first of all, he never called my argument out that was circular. So what I said was the technique that Guy used, right, is exclusive to his 8th gate technique, right? And now I said that Sakura, just because you have greater AP than someone, doesn't mean that you can use the same ability as them, as I presented that this ability of Guy, right, is exclusive to him in 8th gate, something that Sakura cannot use. And then I asked Spencer to prove that Sakura has greater AP than Guy, which he never proved or gave any stance for. So your whole fucking argument is just fucking flawed as fuck, and it doesn't go through because you gave no evidence to why Sakura would have greater AP. So your whole argument just falls, right? Now, what I said was Sekuzo is a bombard of attacks, right? As Guy is using these attacks, he's gradually getting faster in the air, right? And then I told Spencer, do you know what flying is? Able to move through the air freely without doing anything, right? What Guy is he's not flying because he's not freely moving through the air without doing anything. He has to do something, right, to move through the air, which is kicking the air, which he never contended at all, right? So Sakura cannot fucking fly, you stupid trolling fat bitch. Now, my argument just goes through and
that's my memory's horrible. Like, yeah, I didn't hear that either. You know what I mean? Like, so they discussed the whole flying definition thing as well. You name it. So yeah, like, you know, he's kind of saying some reasonable things. Like the whole spurging is unnecessary, but what's it called? But yeah, that's kind of what you got with that. So I do agree with what D1 is saying with that in a whole nutshell. Now, if they're keeping it like in professional debate logic or terms, you know, then since Spencer never provided that whatever, and that point is already concluded and done, they can't backtrack. Like, unless they agree to backtrack and then Spencer, you know, goes. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going along without those rules and logic, which, you know, people do that, then whatever, sure, you know. And in the beginning of this debate when it started, no one didn't make any, like, specifications or clarifications of what can be done or whatever. So, you know, if Spencer does technically, like, show that eventually and prove that she can punch hard or whatever, and they go back to that whole thing to kind of formulate with that argument, then obviously there you go, that'll help. But yeah, just putting it out there. But if you go by like the whole aspect of, oh, it's already discussed, whatever, now you got to continue to move forward. So even like if like Spencer was to go with like, I don't know, AP or that category or whatever, he can't technically connect that with, you know, the other thing before because that wasn't put through, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's making sense for you guys, but either way, we'll kind of just let it continue on. But yeah, conclusions overall, I agree with D1, at least for the moment. From what I heard and memorized, that was basically how that went. So, you got anything, Ken, or just want me to keep it going?
Sorry, for some reason it wasn't letting me unmute myself. No, I'm good. I have nothing to disagree with what you said. I could have sworn that they actually went over some of those points, but I might be later on. Yeah. And if it is later on, then technically by standard battle subsystems, it already concluded. So it's unfair to use any of arguments later on.
Yeah, exactly. Now, like, to be fair for Spencer, I guess, you know, technically they never said in the beginning, like, oh, once we conclude on a point, we can't like backtrack or connect anything or whatever. You know what I mean? So if they're willing
but that's standard like assumptions for debates.
Okay.
Realistically, you would have to say we can go back on point.
Gotcha.
It's not like you would announce the abnormal, not the normal.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I get what you're saying. So, you know, so with that being said, then that's it. I mean, they can't, you know, they just got to keep it rolling and go from there then. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, we still got to keep watching and you name it. So, we'll see what happens.
Never attacked it completely, right? His whole argument got fucking debunked.
D1. We were only concluding.
It's going good, brother. Appreciate you coming along. What's up?
On whether or not, if she has greater power than 8th Gate Guy, she could maneuver herself in the air. I literally said
no, it wasn't.
D1.
No, stop ratting.
I'm still speaking.
Stop ratting. Don't yell.
I've been very courteous to you, D1. Please be courteous to me.
Hold on.
I'm still speaking, D1.
Wait,
Please
Spencer.
be quiet.
Wait, Spencer. Yeah, D1. The point was based on if a character stronger than my guy could do the same thing as running on the air as my guy, not whether Sakura is stronger than my guy.
No,
Because
it wasn't. He said, "Do you want to conclude?" No, it was both points.
Mm-hmm.
I literally only said I was concluding.
All right, so now they're questioning Terry. So fucking it. We're gonna go back. Like D1 is correct. Like he asked him to prove, and you name it, and then Spencer never went to prove that. So hang on. I don't know why they're bullshitting there.
One of the judges.
And whoever's a judge, they're not paying attention.
Yeah. Please be quiet. I'm concluding.
See, this is why you need to talk to the other person about what point you're on before you try to conclude.
Yeah.
Well, if he's doing it only through the force of his kicks and his hits, right? Then those people would be able to fly.
No, that is just him using his Sekugo. That's a technique of Mike God.
I'm gonna edit this all out, by the way, because I'm just waiting for that exact point where D1 asked him to prove that, and then Spencer never did.
Whatever.
Sekizo. What is Sekizo? Come on.
That is a technique of Mike Guy.
What
right,
is Sekizo?
Right now.
What is Sekizo specifically? First of all, you're wrong.
It's an ability of Mike Guy. So you saying that just because Sakura can hit,
yes, that was circular. You said Sekizo is Mike Guy's ability.
Means that
I'm asking you, what is Sekizo?
Hold on. Can I finish? Right. So basically, you know, it's a bombard of attacks just going through the air while kicking the air. He gets faster while he's doing it. Right. So what I'm saying is that just because Sakura can hit and kick just as hard as Guy means that she can use the same ability as him, the Sekugo, whatever it's called.
You know that Sekizo is just weaponizing of air pressure through your great attack power. So yes,
prove Sakura can use the technique. Go ahead.
She would have she would have greater amounts of attack potency. She would be granted it.
Oh my God! You're just saying just because she has greater AP means that she can use the same ability, which is flawed, right? We know Naruto AP, right, will be above Guy. Doesn't mean that he can use the same ability. That is flawed.
Gios, excuse me, sorry. And D1, right? I'm going to conclude on this point.
Yeah. So he asked him to prove, and then he basically just repeated his argument that if she has strong AP, she should be able to do it, whatever. Then he responded with refutation, and then gave literally a counter argument on top of that with the whole Naruto thing, basically proving the notion why that would still be irrelevant. Because we know they can do it, but they're not performing that technique or whatever because they don't have the 8th gate or whatever, etc. So, yeah, like, no. D1 asked him to prove it. He didn't. He just repeated his argument back, and then, that it just kind of went from there. And then he was willing to conclude it right there and then. I believe D1 also asked him to prove it in the beginning. Just check that real quick as well.
Oh, he did.
Can't fly.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, they were talking. He was talking about how at the beginning he was saying that my guy was able to fly via throwing his fist hard enough to create the pressure.
Yeah.
And then he asked him to prove that Sakura can do the same thing, and that's how we got to this point.
Okay. So I won't go back. I was just saying, like, I could have sworn D1 also asked him in the beginning to prove that she has, like, stronger AP or whatever, or equal or something.
He did, because at the very beginning I had said that. I believe he brought it up later on.
Gotcha, okay.
He's wrong, but...
Alright, so now we're going to get back to the bullshit, and we're just going to kind of let it play through. We already know the truth, so I don't know why the judge wasn't paying attention and didn't listen, but yeah, D1's also correct in that, and I don't know why... That's being a whole shit show right now, but let's just keep playing. I think we're at 7 minutes. Let me see.
It's because the judges randomly swapped.
Oh, okay.
Have greater AP, so your whole argument,
She could maneuver herself in the air. I
literally said it wasn't.
D1.
No, stop ratting.
I'm still speaking.
Stop ratting. Don't yell.
I've been very courteous to you, D1. Please be courteous to me. I'm still speaking, D1. Please be quiet.
Dude, it was both points.
Yeah, we're right.
Mm-hmm.
I literally only said I was concluding that one point.
Okay, move on with your scaling or whatever.
Okay,
You're gonna
my scaling of Sakura over Guy. Okay.
Arrow, I know you're not gooning for Spencer.
He doesn't have to goon.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I'm just gonna bring up the Kaguya feat in 687, or maybe it's 691. Possibly? No, I overshot it. Give me a second, I'll find it.
All right.
Hi, I'm Mayor Jerome Rice. Make sure you're caught up on your vaccination for flu.
Okay, we're gonna start at Sakura, and we're gonna make our way down to Third Eye Madara. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, just start with your character.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I do have a Discord. It's on my YouTube, so just go to my YouTube channel, go to the links or like the main, community area, and then you should be able to see the Discord link there, and you can click it. Just make sure to look at the rules and please obey the rules. That's all I care about.
I'm gonna make the entire argument, or actually, I'll make the argument one piece at a time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, here we go. Knew it. Here we go.
Whoever's mic that is, you need to mute. Okay. Sakura is able to punch Kaguya
Predictable.
downwards into the hands of Naruto and Sasuke when she had previously already come like above their hands to a great extent. Like her cloak was even above their hands. And Sakura punches her down.
Why does that mean that Sakura AP is above Kai's? Just because she punches Kaguya downward?
Okay. So Sakura over Kaguya's durability. That's where I'm getting, right?
Not necessarily.
Kaguya took significant damage and was thrown downwards. You understand that Kaguya is like significantly taller than the average human as well, right?
What does that mean? What does height got to do with durability?
I'm saying Sakura threw Kaguya down a significant distance in reference to these characters who are moving at incredible speeds.
Okay, right. Just because we see Kaguya, right, flying upward, right, and then Sakura came out of nowhere, right, Kaguya didn't even recognize her until the last moment, and then Sakura punches her, right?
So your argument is that Kaguya is off guard?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll refute that. So,
all right,
we see in the top panel when Sakura shoots herself out of the Susanoo, because she does jump out of Kakashi's dissipating Susanoo. Kaguya, with her Byakugan active and her 6-pass Senjutsu sensory, right?
Yep.
Draws note of something happening. She's already cleared Naruto and Sasuke, and they make no changes in their movement. So it is most likely that what she is noting is Sakura's appearance in her sight.
You done?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna see what D1 says, but I'm gonna be completely real with you. I don't find it absolutely possible at all for D1 to win that. I'm sorry, like that you should have used something else to try to argue this or whatever, because there's no way it can be an off guard. Like, what's it called? She has the Byakugan, so she can see all around her. That's like saying Neji would be off guard if he got hit in the fucking head. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to say she's hitting a blind spot, which that's no. Okay, so she has the Byakugan. She has Sage Mode Sensory as well. I'm not going to explain why she would have that. Like, if you guys don't understand that, you need to reread Naruto or watch the anime. She has all that shit or whatever. So, like, there's no reason whatsoever she doesn't know Sakura's aware. And like he said in the fucking page, like, she has the exclamation mark. So she's aware Sakura is coming, and Sakura even announces herself. She pre-announces herself. She literally, like, he shows the skin and everything. She says, "Don't forget about me. We're both women." And then she has like a mark. You know what I mean? And this is when she already flew up. So it's definitely indicating towards her as well. So no matter what D1 says, unless it's some god tier fucking refutation, which there's just no way. I don't see how you could be able to do that. Like, that'd be some crazy shit. Okay, then whatever. But yeah, Spencer most definitely has that point. I can already predict the fucking future with that. So that's just stupid. Instead, what D1 probably should have tried to go along with, like, of why she couldn't, like, be able to do anything or prevent the punch from happening, things like that, etc. That would make a lot more sense. But just to simply say, oh, it only happened because she was off guard, that's retarded. So this point's most definitely probably going to Spencer. I'm pretty sure you could agree to that, Ken. But if you have anything, let me know.
Oh, you could 100% argue that she was off guard. I did it with Lokeba one time.
Oh yeah, what is it?
So basically, the argument I went with is the fact that she just got hit by Kakashi,
Yeah.
and she's now extremely vulnerable because she only has use of one arm,
Yeah.
and she's trying to avoid getting hit by Naruto and Sasuke. And at that point in time, she probably just didn't think of Sakura as a threat. So even if she was able to perceive her, she just probably was more trying to deal with the immediate threat.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time that she actually started focusing on her, then
It was
that's when all that happened.
Okay. So
it's kind of like when Raya was fighting to pass the pain, and he got off guard.
Okay, so that actually that's good. You know what I mean? That's a fair argument. But that's something like, you know, that's understandable. Like, so if D1 probably formulates it around that, then yeah, that would make sense. But like, you know what I mean? Because it is true. Like, she gets hit multiple times. She gets hit by Naruto. She gets hit by Sasuke. She even gets injured by Kakashi. So she's getting all fucked up and injured by these people. She's using so much chakra, fighting for a long time, you name it. So, you know, we do know the longer you fight, whatever, the more you're fatigued and weaker you get over time, you name it. Okay, you know, yes, trust me, I'm very well aware that there's statements where she does get exponentially stronger, but all because you get exponentially more powerful, whatever, doesn't mean you can't still suffer the same consequences as when you utilize her chakra, etc., transformations. So overall, like, you have all those variables, and then on top of it, like what Ken was further saying, you know, she's being pressured, okay, by all of them all at once. Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke. She has all her focus and attention on them, you name it. You know, so you can kind of like basically formalize, like, by the time like where she was more than likely able to perceive Sakura because she does have sensory and Byakugan. By the time she could even realize, it was already too late. You know what I mean? And she just didn't have enough time to react or do anything. So that does make sense. I get what Ken's saying, but let's see what D1 says, and then we'll go from there.
So Kaguya is not
right. So basically, you're saying that her Byakugan, right, and her Senjutsu, right? I don't even explain why would she have Senjutsu after I give this argument, right? Do you know how the Byakugan works? The Byakugan doesn't work as a dome, right? It's only a 360-degree vision, which has a blind spot, right? It doesn't work. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work as a complete dome.
I understand.
Right? It's only for the vision that you're at that particular spot, right?
I understand.
So, right now, right, we even see in the panel, right, that Kaguya acknowledges Sakura at the last moment when she looks, and the exclamation point, and the excellent. Are you gonna finish? Let me finish.
Okay, I apologize, D1. I'll let you finish. Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna give you a burger so you could just stop talking right now. All right, now, right,
from Wendy's,
Kaguya, right, notices fucking Sakura at the last moment when she punches her. Right, so yes, Kaguya is off guard, right, and it's too late for her to react to Sakura when she finally punches her. Also, right,
wait,
she is still
D1, now you're shotgunning. Now you're shotgunning D1.
No.
You've already made 2 points.
I'm explaining why she's off guard.
You've already made 2 points, D1.
No,
You've already made 2 points. Okay. All right. Somebody ban whoever that was. So I'm gonna tell you.
So what do you think on that, Ken? On what he was saying? Do you think he got that or what?
It was
kind of similar to what you were saying too.
Yeah. So far, I would give it to Spencer because I think D1 could argue it better.
Okay.
But I don't think it's impossible for D1 to pull it.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm about to say, like, it's kind of pretty similar to what you were trying to advocate as well for your argument. So, but yeah, I do.
Because I was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man. What are you saying?
I was going to say because he was arguing more that it was one of those things where the Byakugan has that blind spot.
Yeah.
I don't think the blind spot matters all too much because again, she's being pressured by more powerful people who she perceives to be more powerful.
Yeah.
So she wasn't just thinking too much of Sakura up until the last moment.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what he was saying too. Like, it was like at the last moment, blah blah. So therefore, it was off guard. You know, yada yada, and all that. Like, it was similar to your argument. But I do understand what you're saying. Like, he probably could have worded it better, or and you name it. But so yeah. So there's that. Then yeah, Spencer. I don't know. I'm here with you guys. That's a hard one. We'll let it continue playing it out because obviously they haven't fully finished on the point. They're going back and forth right now. But so far from what I'm hearing, like, I don't know, like, you could maybe give it to Spencer, or you could probably give it to D1, fucking, you know, from what I heard, like, I understand what D1's direction is and where he's going with. Like, the whole blind spot, yeah, that's kind of, like, whatever, that's irrelevant. But when he, like, the main hitters is when he talks about, like, how it's, like, it's, you know, it's his last minute and there's no time. You know what I mean? That's when she finally realized that she's there. So, like, basically what he's saying, the reason why it was an off-guard moment is because she was coming at her the whole time and then doesn't realize until the last second. I mean, because, you know, with everything that's going on in the scene, you name it, etc., and kind of going that route, and then she lands the hit. And I believe he said some other things to correlate with that too, but I'm not going to go back for it. But so I don't know. This could go either way. It can go either way, to be honest with you. You know, just to show the you know, what's it called, that I'm not, you know, I don't know, playing favorites or anything like that. It's either I would pick Spencer or I would be neutral on this. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. You know, so but. Ken thinks Spencer got it, but I'll just kind of keep it there neutral. I'm gonna let this play out, see what else they say, and then probably say who I think really got it overall.
D1, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So your first point was she's in the whole of the Byakugan site. Your second point was she only hears, or she only draws note of Sakura directly before Sakura punches her, right? So she was still off guard. And then you go on to make a third point, which is what you were trying to do. I'd like to keep this debate. I'd like to keep this debate 1 point at a time, right? I don't want to have to take notes. Cool?
Okay. Wait, attack the first argument, bro.
Okay. So the first argument is drawn null by Kaguya's other way of extrasensory perception, which is her 6-path senjutsu. It is stated by the data book that any who are one with the Ten Tails or the Ten Tails Jinchuriki have 6-path senjutsu that is in no way inferior, or it's equal to or inferior to Naruto's Sage Mode sensory, where he can sense across the entire continent at one time.
Okay, now attack the second argument. I don't care about the Senjutsu point. That's really not relevant.
Okay.
But attack her about Sakura.
If you acknowledge that the Senjutsu point lands, then the second argument is irrelevant because Kaguya.
No, it does not. Because Kaguya
D1,
still
I am speaking. 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 I've been very courteous to you, D1.
Like
you need to be quiet.
Just because you have Senjutsu does not mean.
Wait,
Hold on,
D1, I have been incredibly courteous to you.
I muted D1. Go ahead, Spencer.
All right.
God, unmute him. I don't want him to say I couldn't hear you because I was muted. I want him to be unmuted, and I want him to be able to hear my argument.
Don't fucking mute me no more, bro. Don't mute me no more if you're not gonna mute Spencer.
Don't interrupt. Don't
D1,
interrupt.
you interrupted me.
Because I haven't loud mic or yelled at him a single time yet, and he's just been yelling.
Because you're speaking over me. I exclusively yell at you when you speak over me, D1.
Spencer, you were talking while I was giving my points as well, so what's the issue now?
I apologized, and I was quiet. Do you want another apology, D1?
Okay, look, I'm doing, I'm in the middle of doing something where I can't mute, but I'm going to start muting from now on.
Okay, so whoever talks over anyone else, I'll just mute them.
Thank you. Especially if it's me. Please mute me. Alright? So, D1, if the first point of extrasensory perception lands, then the second point is no. D1. We just went over this, dude. As I was saying, if the first point lands, then your second your second refutation is null because Kaguya would have a frame of reference for where Sakura is, see Sakura's movement, and have the entirety of Sage Mode perception, which we know is so good that you can close your fucking eyes and still see, right? And she would know where Sakura's coming from, when she's gonna hit, so she wouldn't be off guard by the time the attack comes.
Are you done?
Yes.
So like I was going to fucking say, bitch, like I was saying, I said no because...
Oh my god, D-Wood is such a hothead. Oh man, alright.
He kind of makes me think of a Jersey girl.
What's that?
He kind of makes me think of a Jersey girl.
He cracks me up though, I'll tell you that.
Does not mean that you're sensing everyone and everything at all given times, you stupid bitch. Like Naruto, he has fucking senjutsu, right? He can sense things bitch. But he gets caught off guard by the limbo, you stupid bitch. Now, second of all, right, prove that this ability of Kaguya is passive and that she's sensing everyone and everything at all given times, bitch. Because that is the only valid reason to prove that Kaguya is notable of fucking Sakura, bitch. Now go ahead.
So you shotgun me again, but I'm going to take it 1 point at a time. One, if you are simply saying, okay, Sakura is so fast that she can catch Kaguya off guard with extrasensory perception, that would just mean that Sakura can speed blitz Kaguya's perception, right? So that's a point to me. Cool.
So are you just not going to attack my argument?
No, I'm going for the second one, because you shotgun me like I requested you not to, but I rolled with it this time, all right? So, as I've stated previously, it is stated that the 6-pass Senjutsu of the Jubi Jinchuriki is not inferior to Naruto's Sage Mode perception, right? Whenever
Why
Naruto...
does it mean that it's passive?
I'm not done.
Fuck?
Okay, now be quiet. Thank you. So as I was
saying... Shut up, bitch.
Like an adult James Drummond.
Bro, D1 just keeps interrupting him. Come on, D1, let him go.
As I was saying, whenever Naruto leaves the Waterfall of Truth and leaves the place where he is being sealed, because there are seal marks on the ground on top of paper tags, right? Whenever Naruto leaves the Waterfall of Truth, he instantly is bombarded with views of the entire war happening without concentrating in any way, shape, or form. This is just a passive sensory of Sage Mode. He can feel the death happening across the continent.
Once again, right? In Sage Mode, right? Naruto has to enter Sage Mode, right? And then sense these things, right? This ability, right, is not passive of Naruto, you stupid bitch. What he does is he gets taught and learned. Give me evidence proving that this thing is passive. Where's the statement stating that?
Okay, so this is interesting because they're mainly sticking to the sensory thing first, okay? And what I will say on this overall is, you know, when it, like, for one, Spencer's kind of confusing me. Like, even though D1's not really addressing this directly either or questioning it, but for me, the reason why I'm confused is he's talking about Sage Pass, 6-pass Sage Mode Sensory, but then he goes to talk about normal Sage Mode Sensory. Like, what the fuck? But so there's that. That's weird because those two things are not the same. And then two, with the whole fucking sensory thing, like, yeah, we know he can sense whatever, blah, blah. But, like, what D1 is asking is to prove that it is passive, like, at all fucking times. Like, it's always automatically. And technically, like I get what D1's asking. So that's his line of reasoning. Because if that is the case, then there you go. But, you know, when you analyze Naruto overall as a whole, D1 did bring this up. Naruto has his Sage Mode 6-pass sensor, right? But yet he still gets hit by the limbo. You know what I mean? He was able to sense the limbo at certain points as well. Then there's a point where the limbo gets to him and hits him, though. You know what I mean? And even though he has sensory, you know, he was still able to get hit. So he did bring that up. And then another thing, he didn't say this, but let's say I'm throwing something in there or a bone. Jiraiya has Sage Mode sensory, yet Pain was able to sneak up on him and off guard him. You know? So, like, I don't know, Sage Mode is interesting. You know what I mean? The sensory and all that, whatever, blah, blah. You know, I do feel the way it does work is if you're focused and you do have it active, then you should be able to detect things, you know, go from there, whatever. We literally see it with Madara, with no eyes, you name it, etc. So it depends on the focus. It's kind of similar with the whole concept with, like, Tobirama, to where if he's not needing chakra, he can't sense either, which is why he couldn't sense Madara, and he says that right after. So, you know, it depends on the context, depends overall. Just to say that whenever you have Sage Mode, you can flat out just sense everything all at once, you know what I mean? I don't know about all that, you know? Like, the only times we know that happens is when Naruto's actually focusing and sensing, you know? For instance, he also needed to, like, sense Nagato by stabbing himself with a rod in order to sense and pinpoint his location. Like, he couldn't just figure out exactly where it was. So, like, there's all that, too. But regardless, I'm not going to keep going on all the other fucking variables, you name it, and why that can be very contentious. But let's see what happens from here. I'm going to let you respond as well, Ken. I know you have some things to say, too. But let's see what happens from here. We're going to see what Ken says as well, if he has anything to say. But I understand what D1's, like, where he's coming from, what he's saying. He's basically asking, like, prove that it's automatic and passive 24/7 for, like, basically all Sage Mode, you know, whatever. And then just go from there. But what do you have on that, Ken, though?
So the thing with the stage mode and all that is interesting, especially considering, like you said before, we know that Jiraiya had gotten tagged while in stage mode.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you say, like, well, Jiraiya is not a perfect stage, and therefore it's not as impressive.
Yeah.
And we do know Ma and Paul are more
they
in tone with as far as... And they didn't even, sense it.
I forgot about that. Bro, I totally spaced out on that, bro. That's fine. Yeah, that's true. They were on his shoulder. They thought the fight was over. That's why. So that, it makes sense. I'm pretty sure they weren't using sensory. You know what I mean? Like, that would make sense. I don't think I'm wrong or completely out of this world to say that. Like, I think that's pretty plausible and understandable. That's why that did happen, because they thought the fight was over. I mean, so therefore they weren't doing, like, the sensory. So meaning, therefore, that would prove the notion that, like, it's not automatic or passive 24/7. Because then he should have detected it, He would have still been surprised, but he would at least been able to move, you know what I mean? Or try to do something. So... But D1 didn't mention or say any of that, so that doesn't really help him. But it just helps overall, like, if you're in this position. That's what we're saying, guys.
Oh, yeah. And another thing that really hurts this idea that it's passive, when Naruto goes and he senses everyone that far away, he was actively trying to, because he was able to pick on the fact that they were lying to him about something.
Exactly. And that's the thing, too. Yeah, like, fucking, when he was in, like, KCM... he couldn't sense any of that shit. When he was in Sage mode even before, he didn't sense any of that or whatever immediately. It wasn't until, like, he was getting suspicious and, like, realized that something was up. And mind you, Naruto's dumb, too. And he was able to pick up on that. And then he finally, like, he has to get outside and then he can, like, focus and sense everything. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he could just do that at all given fucking points in time. Like, right when he even activated it, too. Or even when he did it in that room with Killer Bee. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah. With that,
go ahead. The only other point that they brought up here, and I know it's not actually important for them, at least judging this debate, but they bring up, because they did technically bring up the Madara thing with him dodging Tobirama.
Yeah.
Madara was in the middle of the fight, so he knew to be on guard sensing. So that doesn't prove that it would have been passive. Because it wasn't in a passive.
Unless I didn't hear correctly, I don't think Spencer said with that particular moment. I think he was... I'm just assuming, because from what I remember what he said, like verbatim, is that even Madara was able to sense things with no eyes. You know what I mean? So,
he says that you can use it to... sorry about that. No, he basically just said that we know that even with no eyes, you can still see with it.
Yeah. That's all I heard. So, like, I don't think he referenced exactly to Tobirama. What I was thinking when he immediately said that is when he was dealing with, like, Sasuke and Naruto, you know what I mean? And all that, and he was just dodging casually or whatever. But then again, that still proves along with what you were saying. Like, he's in battle, you know what I mean? So he would do it, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, no. And just like you said, and even if it was in reference to Tobirama, that would still go through what you're saying as well, because like he even actually he states it verbatim. He says to Tobirama, it's under your MO to strike when someone's off guard or whatever, so he was prepared for it. Like, he knew, you know what I mean? So yeah, like that makes sense as well. So I get what you're saying, but we're gonna let it keep going. We'll see what happens from here. But overall, I do feel what D1's saying, and with the one example and evidence he did use, that does help D1. That does strengthen. I don't think I'm tripping on that from what I've heard, but like all Spencer's been saying the whole time is that it is automatic and passive 24/7. And then D1 explained why it's not, and then even provided one example with Naruto and the Limbo clone. So, there you go.
This thing is passive, right? This thing is not passive. Like I said before, Naruto, right, gets 6 past stage mode, right, which is an upgrade from just regular stage mode, and he gets caught off guard by the Limbo. Are you aware of that?
That would just need a higher level of perception because he's sensing things that aren't in his reality.
But he can still sense them. What I'm saying is he gets caught off guard by them.
Yeah, that's just a higher level of perception, like I said. If it's a higher level of perception... Excuse me, D1.
Spencer.
D1, I am speaking.
Okay, they keep interrupting each other. So, and then now, like, okay, that does... I'm sorry, I can't stand that in debates. Like, D1 was fucking up the most and not waiting. But then D1 was still talking, whatever. Then Spencer interjects. Then now D1's interjecting. Now they keep going back. And then now Spencer's like, I'm talking. Like, what? Did I hear that wrong, Ken? Like, bro, fucking take turns. Holy shit. Like, damn. What's it called?
Yeah, They need a better moderator.
I know, yeah.
I don't want to be mean, but they need a better moderator.
Yeah, and then 2, fucking, unless I'm capping or something, I don't think Spencer's comprehending. Like, he's not listening. Like, he's saying some, like, greater perception or whatever because in the other realm, whatever. That's not the point. What D1 is saying is Naruto can still sense him, even, like, with the greater, whatever, all this other bullshit. It doesn't matter because he can still sense him and he's dodging his attacks. He literally says that. And then there's a point where he couldn't and he's off guard. So, like Spencer's not, unless I'm not hearing, and that's why I have Ken here just in case. I haven't heard Spencer still address why that would, you know what I mean, like debunk his argument. You know what I mean, or why Spencer thinks he's debunking now. Like, where the fuck is this greater perception dimension shit coming from? Like what? Like,
I didn't hear anything. So,
all right, I'll play it one more time.
Perception because he's sensing things that aren't in his reality.
Right, it's not passive of Naruto, you stupid bitch. What he does is he gets taught and learned. Give me evidence proving that this thing is passive. Where's the statement stating that this thing is passive? Right, this thing is not passive. Like I said before, Naruto, right, gets 6 past stage mode, right, which is an upgrade from just regular stage mode.
True.
And he gets caught off guard by the limbo. Are you aware of that?
That would just need a higher level of perception because he's sensing things that aren't in his reality.
But he can still sense them. What I'm saying is he gets caught off guard by them.
Yeah, that's just a higher level of perception, like I said. If it's
like he's just saying and then D1's like, yeah, like Spencer needs to address that. Like I don't like unless maybe he's not following. I don't know, but I don't know.
I think Spencer's the one saying that Naruto would just have higher respect level of I don't know.
Like I don't get what Spencer's trying to convey. That's my problem because D1 is saying, you know what I mean, like Naruto has a greater version of Sensor whatever from normal stage mode to 6 pass now, and that's basically what Kage has as well. And then basically fucking Naruto, like, you know, also gets off guard by Limbo and eventually gets hit. And then Spencer just says that just means he has greater perception with the whole visible realm, blah blah. Like that still doesn't attack what D1 is saying. Like unless I'm hearing it wrong, but that's just me. I don't know. So
D1's, because I remember correctly, I'm just trying to make sure I follow the talks properly. D1 is trying to say that Kaguya would have the ability to. No, I had that right. D1's trying to say that Kaguya wouldn't necessarily be able to sense Sakura automatically. And Spencer's trying to say Naruto is able to sense the entire world.
Yeah.
And then he gets a stronger senjutsu sensory.
Yeah.
And Kaguya should be on that level as well.
Yeah, no, I get all of that. I'm talking about like the exact moment right now. With everything with D1 provided, and then Spencer just goes under the whole perception thing. So I'm gonna see what happens from here, but like that kind of threw me off guard. I'm like, huh?
It's a higher level of perception. Excuse me, D1.
And see, and then that right there, now Spencer's trying to take control, which that doesn't make sense because D1 was going, then Spencer interrupts because we just heard it again, and then D1 interrupts him, and D1 continues to go. And then now Spencer interrupts, and then D1's trying to do it again, and then Spencer's like, no, I need to talk. Like, that's not how that works. You need to let fucking D1 finish. But, like, they're both doing a shitty job on that, though. I'm putting that out there right now.
Sure. D1, I am speaking. I am speaking. I am speaking.
Right,
I am speaking. Please be quiet.
Field,
somebody mute this nigga. I am speaking.
The moderator is so bad. They're so bad on this.
He's asking me to make an argument, and he won't let me fucking talk.
And they can still...
God damn.
Yeah, no, that's how I know they're not paying attention. Like I'm pretty sure you heard that too, Ken. D1 was still speaking and giving his argument. And then Spencer injected, D1 does the same. Then D1 starts going on, and then Spencer interjects, and then D1 starts, and then now Spencer has a titty attack. Like, come on, you know? Like I said, I'll be the first one to say if D1's tripping, which he was way before. He kept fucking interrupting, being fucking, you know, whatever. And then now it was Spencer, and then now they're fucking muting D1 again. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's fucking retarded.
As I was saying, no. This is how it's gonna be from now on. Whenever he cuts me off, or whenever I cut him off, mute me or mute him. I don't fucking care, right?
They ain't muting you, bro. That's the problem. They're real quick to mute D1, but not you.
Bro, I was not done.
Literally, he was not done.
Literally over talking. what we
D1 has
directly
admin
agreed we
terms.
wouldn't be doing.
I wasn't done, bro.
But you started while talking over him.
Yeah.
Troy, please.
That's how I know Troy ain't fucking paying attention.
Oh yeah, that's.
You started speaking. You started giving your argument while you were over talking me. So you can wait until I finish my argument, and then you can give your counter argument.
All right,
Once again, just real quick, D1 was still going. He was not finished, and then Spencer interjected. I don't know what the fuck they're on right now, but whatever.
See, this is what I tell people all the time. Debating isn't a matter of being right or wrong. It's a matter of being able to outspeak the other person.
Yeah.
Because D1's literally now agreeing that he did interrupt Spencer when that's actually not what happened.
Exactly.
Okay, so I already cited evidence as to why the regular perception in realm perception is passive. D1 is saying that this extraordinary perception that Naruto has to perform to sense things outside.
I'm sorry. I didn't even realize you commented a while ago. I'm not that great at multitasking. To my YouTube, this if you, I'll send my Discord link on in the chat for you. All right, when I have a moment. But my bad, I didn't see your comment until late. I thought you already knew my YouTube. It's the same name that I have for Twitch. It's VI Batman VI. Just type that. You'll click my account, and then you know how YouTube it has like links on the main profile. You just then click the link and go from there. But if you're still having issues, let me know, and then I'll just send you the link.
If his like reality is something it's something that isn't passive, but that's fine because that's not what Kaguya must be using here. So, if this is the case, we would just have a level of perception that is passive and a level of perception that is not. This is no longer a defeater to my argument. D1's argument has no effect on mine, and therefore I win this point, hands down. Now D1, please give your refutation.
Hell, like this little Tweety Bird fat ass bitch. Like I was fucking saying, you man.
James, bro, act like an adult, bro.
Be quiet. Do not speak while D1 is talking.
All right, now, right? What I was saying that Naruto, right? He gets called.
I like that. That I did like. But Spencer putting that guy in check, and that's what I'm talking about. There we go. Equity, professionalism.
Off guard by the limbo, right? These things are still, right, being in present with the physical world, right? They can physically touch Naruto, physically touch Sasuke.
Hanyo, please mute yourself. D1 is making his argument. I would like to hear it. I apologize, D1. Please start again.
Okay, right. These limbo clones, right, can what's the word for it, right? They can
interact.
Yeah. They can interact with Naruto and Sasuke. So these things, right, are physical because they're physically interacting with Naruto and Sasuke, right? Now, Naruto gets caught off guard.
You're elaborating. I apologize. I thought you were going to make a new point. I apologize.
Naruto, right? He can sense these limbo clones, right? But still are getting caught off guard by it. The same way Kaguya can sense these, can sense how you said she could sense Sakura, Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke. She can still sense somebody, right? Naruto is still sensing something, right? But the difference is that, right? Naruto gets caught off guard by it, and he has senjutsu, right? So your whole point about you saying that just because Kaguya has senjutsu, that she should be able to sense Sakura and everything at all given times. Right, and they're just saying, "Oh, this senjutsu was an upgraded version of what Naruto came." Right, so that means that it must be passive, right? Which is flawed, right? So what I'm saying is that I'm just elaborating on a point. This is not a new point, right? That Naruto, right, can sense something with senjutsu and get caught off guard by it, right? The same way how Kaguya was not paying attention to Sakura, right, and gets caught off guard by her punch.
Okay.
All right, so they both concluded. I completely understand what Spencer's saying. I understand what D1's saying. I'm gonna be real. From what I've heard overall, I have to give this sensory thing to, like Spencer already concluded. So I'm assuming he's gonna attack, or say whatever from here, and then if he says something, whatever, then maybe he gets it, But from what I'm hearing so far, I feel like D1 objectively and logically has more of the advantage from what he's saying, why that doesn't work, blah, blah. It makes sense. If I'm capping, once again, I apologize. I'm doing my very best to listen to this, you name it, etc. That's why I also have Ken here. I normally do these judgments by myself, but I have Ken here just to make it more fun and enjoyable, and just in case if I'm caught slipping, you know? I'm not perfect either, so... but from what I'm hearing so far, I'm giving this to D1. That's what I'm hearing. So we'll see what Spencer has to say right after, and that could potentially give him the point instead, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to say anything else. But what do you think, Ken, so far?
If I was going off only what I've heard now,
yeah,
and again, there might be a little bit of bias. I'm trying to keep that bias from the first time I watched this already out of it.
Yeah.
But just going off what I've heard now, I would give it to D1.
Okay.
Just because Spencer never gave any actual reason why it would be passive, even if it was an enhanced version.
Exactly.
And he didn't say, even if it was passive, why. I would mean that he just has why she just is automatically like aware of everything and able to react to everything at the same time either. So
exactly, I didn't. Yeah, he never did that at all. So, and he already concluded, and you name it. So he's gonna respond to what D1 just said, which even though D1 was concluding, so I don't know why there's a response. If you're doing conclusions, that should be it, and you move on. But either way, Spencer's gonna respond. We'll go from there, and then that'll be overall with this whole Sage Mode sensory shit.
So D1, I'm gonna refute what I think I need to, and then I think my argument goes over all your other offense. Is that fine? And then we can conclude this sensory point.
What did you say?
I said I'm going to directly refute what I think I need to, and I think my argument covers everything else that you've already said.
I'm gonna let it continue, but like, how do you feel on that, Ken? If Spencer just concluded overall on the sensory thing, and literally said verbatim at the end of it, like, therefore I win this point hands down. Okay, like he was in full confidence, he won overall. And then D1 gave his conclusion, and now Spencer's like, all right, now I'm gonna refute what I need to refute, and then I think everything else went through, and then we can just conclude. Is it me, or is he trying to manipulate the flow to like get the upper hand? Am I tripping, or?
No, you don't refute a conclusion.
Yeah.
Because the conclusion is basically just you guys going over all the point that was stated.
Yeah.
That way the judge can decide who won.
Yeah, so yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
You wouldn't conclude on because you wouldn't do a conclusion on a point that's like conceded.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, like, whatever Spencer's gonna say, like, me and Ken will still respond to it, whatever, just for shits and giggles, but it technically wouldn't go through professionally debating-wise, because they already concluded. So this is kind of stupid, but whatever. We're just going to keep letting it go.
So then we can conclude after.
Go ahead.
Unless you feel a need to respond to anything I say.
If I feel it though I need to respond to something, then of course I am.
Okay.
And the reason why that's also dumb is because then they're just going to continue to go back and forth, and refute. Like, that's why you don't do conclusions until you're done discussing the main point and then discussing whatever overall to kind of make everything connect. You know, like, the fuck? But all right, here we go.
So, I am not saying... I'm going to start with your last argument. I am not saying because Kaguya's is an upgraded version of Naruto's that it is passive, but rather that Naruto's sensory within the same dimension is passive. Kaguya's is equal to or greater than, by proxy of the data book statement, that you didn't ask for, but I think I'm still going to find it either way, right? And therefore, hers would be passive in the dimension as well. Now, the other thing that I will respond...
He just repeated himself, but okay, and D1 already addressed all that.
I'm not going to respond to your second argument, because I think I've already refuted it with my primary argument. But the other thing that I will respond to is your first argument. The idea that the limbo clones have tangible or physical effect, and therefore they are physically present in the world. As stated by the data book statement...
Wait. This was discussed... I don't remember this at all. What the fuck? Them talking about limbo? When was that said?
They talked about limbo. It was for a brief moment, but they did.
Like, I remember like Spencer saying like something like Naruto having like greater possession or whatever because he's able to sense like the limbo thing or whatever, and yada yada. But then again, I didn't really go to attack D1 at all because he was saying that Naruto couldn't, and eventually does get still hit off guard. But anyways, what's it called? Like, but he's literally talking about limbo right now. Like, apparently it was there was something said that where like D1 was saying, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't remember this at all, but I'm just saying it sounds like a whole other point.
No, that's actually when they were talking about it. They for a brief moment they went over the idea that the limbos. Sorry, they were talking about the fact that limbo was in another dimension.
Yeah,
and that's why it was a bit harder for Naruto to sense them is because of that.
Okay.
Madara, then limbo clones reside in another dimension. The idea that they have a tangible effect on our dimension does not mean that they are physically present. Now, this is a mystical world in which things can interact in ways that are contradictory to our own, right? And therefore, I don't see an issue with saying this thing doesn't follow the laws of physics as we know. But which scan were you asking me for, D1?
The scan that you just talked about, the limbo clones.
Okay. Give me one moment while I find that.
5 minutes for scans.
That's fine.
All right.
Hi, I'm Mayor Jerome
skip
Rice.
it through because it's
Make sure you're caught up on your vaccination for flu.
There we go. That was quick.
It stated that limbo clones can let me read it. Perceiving
What kind of fucking what kind of fucking scan is that? The fuck?
This phantom is impossible. The enemy's unpreparedness invites disaster. A person who possesses the Renegon can intervene in an adjacent world, an extremely distant world. In that space, a shadow is produced, which everyone who is connected with the current world can't feel. Not only will the jutsu user gain duplicate, I think I've proved my point in saying that.
No, you haven't, because this is not saying anything that you previously stated, Spencer. Right? You said that just because they have an effect on our world does not mean that they physically exist in the real world, right? And that doesn't logically follow, right? If you can't physically interact with this world, and if they're not physically present in that world, then there's no way that you can interact with somebody that is physically present in our world. That just doesn't logically follow. Do you understand that?
Yes, and I preempted my argument by saying, since this is a mystical fictional world, things that contradict our laws of physics or our ideas of logic can be present.
So you're saying that contradictions can be present in the mystical world that can't be contradicted in our world?
I'm saying that contradictions can exist in fiction because these fictional worlds may have different mechanics than our world. But
okay, what are the different mechanics?
First of all, that spirits, right, ghosts can interact with the physical plane while having no physical body or substance.
What are ghosts? What ghosts interact with the physical plane?
Don Kato, he has a jutsu that transports his spirit, a non-physical spirit, and allows him to interact with the physical realm. He does this.
See, my confusion with all this, Ken, is what's the relevance to all this? Because the whole thing what they were discussing was sensory. You know what I mean? So, like, and the only thing that I do remember particularly to the T with the whole limbo thing was D1 saying that, like, even Naruto was caught off guard by the limbo clone as well. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, he says, like, Naruto was able to, you know, to react, whatever. And then there's a moment where he gets off guard by it. And then Spencer said his stuff, but it didn't address it or anything. And then everything's went from there and they went to conclusions. Like, why are they trying to argue the whole fucking schematics of limbo right now? Like, what? Like now I'm gonna be real though. With what I'm hearing so far, Spencer is at least like he's the one right now. Like, even though it doesn't make sense and it sounds stupid, but that's what limbo does basically. It's just weird. You know what I mean? But like I just don't understand the relevance to this right now. Like I don't why. But I don't know.
Honestly, not a clue. I have no idea.
Yeah, like I don't know why it even dive to this to begin. Like they're literally arguing about whether or not if limbo is like correct in a sense right now. Like what? Like bro? Like okay, but whatever. And either way, once again, we already stated this before. Me and Ken, they already concluded with the whole sensory thing. So all this shit we're hearing right now is basically a waste. Like it's just redundant. We're only just listening to this for entertainment at this point. Until they eventually move on to the next point.
This to save Tsunade's life against Madara.
So you're saying how can something be illogical, right? Just in a fictional world, right? It has to abide by logic, right? That's how we get these animes, these fictions. They all apply to logic, right? So
no, that's. I'm pretty sure you agree, Ken. That's not true at all. It doesn't have to apply to logic or reality. Fictional anime or continuities can be contradicted and not even correlate to our reality itself or science itself. That's definitely not fucking true. Yeah, D1's tripping on that.
If you were to move at the, even just at the speed of sound or like around the speed of sound,
yeah,
the blood in your body would become so heavy that you would pass out.
Yeah, like there's so much shit. Like even moving at the speed like Flash can move in DC. Like let's say that was like the amount of friction you like you would die. You would be killed. Like realistically, like your body wouldn't be able to handle that. The only reason why the Flash doesn't get killed because then they add a fictional element to it, even though there's plenty of science and reality as well. Okay, but they add a fictional element to where the Speed Force gives him a protective aura to why the speed doesn't hurt his body, even though he's a human. So, you know, like, yeah, that's not at all. But I'm just kind of putting it out there just to nitpick anything that's just whatever. But obviously D1's probably doing all this because he's trying to win the point or whatever, even though there's no reason. But anyways, let's keep going.
Without logic, there's no way that we can have these things, bro. Right? So what I'm saying is that it doesn't logically follow. And you're saying, how do you not know that, like, ghosts can, like, doesn't exist in our world? How do you know that?
I never made a claim on whether spirits exist.
You said that this whatever the nigga name was, saying that he has a spirit, right, that can literally transport himself into another body, correct?
That's not what I was talking about. I specifically cited Dawn saving Tsunade's life against Madara.
You said what?
I specifically cited Don Kato saving Tsunade's life against Madara while only using his ghostly spirit.
Okay, so once again, right, how do you not know that ghosts cannot interact with our physical world?
By your argument that you presented that you said follows the logic of our world, that wouldn't be the case.
Are you stupid? What my argument was is that something, right, that's not physically present, right, in our world can't interact with something that's on the same plane as them, right? So now your example, right, would be disanalogous to my argument because this spirit is physically present, right, helping Tsunade, protecting himself against Madara.
Where is the spirit physically present? Where does it have a physical body or mass?
You doesn't have to have a physical body or physical mass, right?
You're fine.
I'm just gonna like letting you play through and listen through because obviously all this is irrelevant for the debate judgment. But no, continue. I know we're still doing it for shits and giggles.
Well, it's more just because I'm starting to get frustrated because at this point now they're arguing the semantics of what.
Yeah, reality, like IRL, yeah, fiction. Like this is retarded. No wonder why this is an hour long, dude. Because like they're bullshitting right now. Like, and whoever the moderator is, or even like. If they're, I don't remember if they agree to have a judge. No. Spencer said there doesn't need to be a judge. Okay. What's it called? He said that in the beginning. So, like, the moderator, he's just doing a shit job. Like, all of this is, like, there's no reason for this. This is not relevant. This is not important. Like, this doesn't even connect. Like, they already both concluded they should be moving on to a whole other, like, this is all stupid. But no, I absolutely agree. This is dumb.
Well, because, again, they're just arguing semantics on, like, what it means to be, like, physically present.
Yeah, like in that's not going to get any fucking where. That's just it's contentious as it is. You can go on and on and on and on. You know what I mean? Like I said, like it's that's a whole other can of worms. Like this is just stupid.
Anyway, continue. I just wanted to say that.
Physically
no, you're good. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then you concede, and I'll explain this to
No, that's not a concession.
Wait. I'll explain this to why, D1. Because if a physical body and physical mass are not present and are not needed in Naruto to exert physical force onto the physical world, then the limbo clones could abide by the same logic.
Now, oh my god, you didn't understand my argument. My whole argument is saying that you're saying that these clones, right, they affect, right, our world, but doesn't physically exist in our world. What I'm saying is that these limbo clones does physically exist. If therefore they don't physically exist, they cannot physically interact with something that's physically existing. Right
D1,
now, what I'm saying is that spirit,
I thought you were done. Go for it.
His spirit, right, is physically existing, right? He doesn't need a physical body in order for it to exist, right? It's existing, right? It helped Tsunade.
All right, I'm gonna skim this a little bit because this is just not important. I'm sorry, it's not. For anyone that disagrees, then you're just not paying attention.
Clones exist in the invisible realm of limbo. He's saying that these clones exist in an adjacent dimension onto our dimension.
Something, right, physically is not a defeated target. No.
Means that it exists in different, right?
Bro, how long do they talk about this shit? Damn!
My point, because it could just...
something realm, right, and they're not physically existing where Naruto...
It sounds like they're just circling and repeating themselves, right, Ken? Like, even with all my skips, you just keep hearing the same thing? Like, the fuck? Oh, I love ads. Thank you.
Do you want to debate that?
D1.
No, I just said you can't be a judge.
Okay, it's fine. The other two judges.
No, he's not kicking you out of judgment.
Yes, I am kicking you out of judgment. I don't want you to be a judge.
Wait.
Simo. Wait, guys, Simo.
Now they're arguing about judges. Alright, so I guess I was wrong and I wasn't paying attention. I could have sworn I heard Spencer say there doesn't need to be a judge in the beginning. And apparently there's judges. Maybe I'm fucking tripping now. Holy fuck. But whatever, that's irrelevant either way. So
said they didn't need a mod if I remember correctly, but that was wrong.
Gotcha.
I know at one point he said that they didn't need to be muted.
Gotcha.
It's fine. The other judge until the end.
Thank you.
Or that point in our previous points would dictate the winner.
Or you still haven't proven why just because Sakura has greater AP, right? Just because she punched Kaguya downward, that means that she has greater AP than Guy.
Wait, yes, that's. I was asking if we could continue along the line of scaling, but you didn't let me finish.
Go ahead.
Okay. So.
They're finally moving on to another point, Ken.
I need to stop listening to these debates while I'm doing something else.
But like, holy, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. But for two top-tier debaters, you know what I mean? Like, you would think this would be a lot more competent. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Let me go get Kaguya. My Kaguya skills. So, you're aware that the Kaguya that Sakura punches is stronger than all previous Kaguyas, correct? Or all previous Kaguyas that Naruto and Sasuke fought.
They only fought one Kaguya.
Yeah, I'm saying due to chakra drain, she may have gotten fatigued, whatever. But this Kaguya that they're fighting is stronger than all of the ones previous to her that they fought.
Why would she be stronger than all the ones previous to her?
I just posted the scans. Let me read them out. So, I've got two translations of the same scan so that I can back my interpretation of the scan, right?
Okay, King, you're gone. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, so Black Zetsu says, after Kaguya absorbs the chakra of those in the infinite Tsukuyomi to make the eternal truth-seeking orb, he says, and I quote, Mother just gained more power. Both her might and speed are now exponentially greater, right? An alternative translation of this says, Mom has just gained power. Her strength and speed are nothing compared to before, right? So therefore, my interpretation of this scan is, Kaguya got so strong that the previous Kaguya is fucking shit tier in comparison.
And this technique we're born being able to go through things is a long power over to. Okay, now once again, right? Why does after he says this, right? She gets attacked by fucking Kakashi, and then she used her Ashbone Jutsu on Kakashi, right? Are you aware?
She uses the Ashbone on Kakashi before this, actually.
This in the panel it shows it after.
You read manga panels right to left, so it goes
right
take me in some. I'll fly the rest of the way. Kaguya releases the Ashbones. Kakashi says fast. The Susanoo gets hit. Mother just gained more power. Blah blah blah. Kakashi gets hit by it, and then Kakashi comes down with a Raikiri.
Do you want me to get the anime for you?
No.
Yeah, because it's not a contradiction to this at all. It shows no contradictions at all.
That's an argument from ignorance. If you're trying to say it's canon because it shows no contradictions.
No, what I'm saying is that there would be no reason for you to say that the anime is invalid to this because it shows no contradictions. I'm saying it's the exact same thing as this.
That's an either or foul.
Yep.
Am I crazy? Because I don't think that's an argument of ignorance.
Yeah, that's not an argument of ignorance. Like, I don't know.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't know what the fuck he's on about right there, because what D1 is saying is, can you show the anime? The reason why he's asking for that is because the anime does show more detail, like to be able to like fully, concisely understand what is going on at that particular moment. And in the episode, D1 is correct. This exact moment happens. It's not like it's something completely different. You know what I mean? So like, if he was to show that, it should still be validated as evidence because it's the same fucking scene. You know what I mean? So he's asking like, hey, can we like pull that up real quick just to like really analyze and see what happened in that particular scene? You know what I mean? To show this way, like basically it would help just to confirm integrity and transparency with that particular scene. You know, that's all D1's basically trying to ask right now. And then Spencer's coming out with this whole argument of ignorance, or now you're saying animes can't blah blah, and like whoa, like no, like the scan that you just showed, he's asking to show that same thing in the anime. Like what the fuck? What's the problem? But okay.
I'm trying to figure out where the idea that it would be an argument of ignorance, but if that's not the case, then yeah. I thought I was tripping for a full second.
No, you're fine.
Policy that either the anime is canon because it has no contradiction. If you would wait just a moment, D1, you would understand as to how. You would understand as to how, D1. Let me finish my sentences. God! Unmute him.
Yo, mute me one more time while he's yelling over me, right?
I was the one who was speaking. Now, you decided to speak over me, and then I wrote you off for speaking over me.
Bro, okay, look, both of y'all. Could you please allow him to speak, nigga?
Now, I'm going to present the anime for you.
I was still speaking. I was still speaking.
Right, let me see who is actually still speaking. Hang on, I'm gonna be real. I'm tripping. They were both speaking, but let me see. I'm gonna be fair.
You would understand as to how. You would understand.
It would be D1 who should be speaking.
It shows no context.
It should be D1 speaking, you said?
Yeah, because
okay.
They were talking about that scene and all that, and D1 was trying to explain why the anime should be usable.
Gotcha, and then
Spencer was basically just telling him he can't use it.
Okay.
Predictions at all.
That's an argument from ignorance. She uses the ashbone on Kakashi before this, actually.
This in the panel, it shows it after.
You read manga panels right to left. So it goes,
right,
take me in some, I'll fly the rest of the way. Kaguya releases the ash bones, Kakashi says fast, the Susanoo gets hit, Mother just gained more power, blah blah blah, Kakashi gets hit by it, and then Kakashi comes down with a Raikiri.
Do you want me to get the anime for you?
No.
Yeah, because it's not a contradiction to this at all. It shows no contradictions at all.
That's an argument from ignorance. If you're trying to say it's canon because it shows no contradictions.
No, what I'm saying is that there would be no reason for you to say that the anime is invalid to this because it shows no contradictions. I'm saying it's the exact same thing as this.
That's an either or fallacy. That either the anime is canon because it has no contradiction. If you would wait just a moment, D1, you would understand as to how. You would understand as to how, D1. Let me finish my sentences.
Yeah, like Spencer was going. They were actually taking turns. Like Spencer was going, then D1 was talking. Spencer goes, and D1 was talking. Then Spencer intervenes, and then D1 comes in with the howl. So yeah, like. Oh, the moderating is so bad in this, Ken. It's so bad.
The problem is the moderator's trying to be really passive.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm generally not the most aggressive person, but if you're moderating, especially on this caliber, you have to be like, no, you don't get to tell me who I am and unmuting. We're going to try and get you over here, kind of thing.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
God! Unmute him.
Yo, mute me one more time while he's yelling over me, right?
I was the one who was speaking. Now, you decided to speak over me, and then I wrote you off for speaking over me.
Bro, okay, look, both of y'all. Could you please allow him to speak, nigga?
Now, I'm going to present the anime
D1,
for you.
I was still speaking. I was still speaking.
Wait,
No,
okay,
you wasn't.
wait.
Yes, I was.
D1. Spencer was going on to explain why it was fallacious. And
Alien,
you cut him
I don't
off
want to.
saying
You're
why.
not a judge here. You're not a
I'm
judge.
moderating.
All right. Instead of alien, I'll say it. D1. I was going on to explain why it was fallacious, and yet you cut me off.
Okay, I'm going to give my argument now. Go ahead.
I'll
just show you the anime, and I'll show you why this thing was stated before he even she hits him with the ashbone. All right.
Bro, I might get copyright from this now.
D1, this would be a contradiction.
I'm gonna show you a timestamp. Hold on.
This would be a contradiction, D1.
I'm gonna show you a timestamp. Hold on.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mayor Jerome Rice. Make sure you're caught up on your vaccination for flu, shingles.
The timestamp is 4:26, by the way.
Bro, it even has the audio. God damn it. Yeah, let me turn the audio off to see if that helps. I don't get a fucking copyright. If you talk, Ken, you will not come through, by the way. So just wait after until it's done. Okay, they turned off the volume. Good.
Bitch, while I'm giving my argument.
I'm literally giving you your evidence for you because you couldn't find it.
You fucking monkey ass nigga, bro.
Who is that? Like, just mute him forever. Like, he just keeps talking.
I think it's Yeetus that fetus.
I'm literally fucking muted. What are you talking about? You're hot, bro.
Dude, I'm so whacked right now.
Nah, this is trolling. This is troll.
The more specific timestamp is 5:46, D1. Is that too...
Alright.
This training one is extremely well made.
D1, I just watched the clip. Zetsu doesn't say it anywhere near the same time.
What do you mean he doesn't say it? So are you saying he doesn't say it at all?
He doesn't say it at all in the anime of what I'm seeing.
Okay, so we'll just go with your manga pen. Right, you said you read it from right to left, right? In the right, we see, is this Chidori, I think, or his Susanoo cracking, right? And then on the left, right, at the top left, he says, Mom has just gained power. Her strength and speed are nothing compared before.
And then you go down.
We see Kakashi getting hit with the ashbone. So
yes, but we saw the...
this.
I apologize. I thought you were done. Continue.
Why aren't y'all saying anything when he's talking when I'm talking? But when I do it, it's a problem.
He acts like a fucking adult, you pathetic.
Wait. Okay, look, D1, the reason why we don't say anything is because he quickly apologizes and doesn't continue. You continue while over-talking everyone who tries to stop you.
It doesn't matter. You guys always have a reason for why no.
Just
You guys
continue
always
with the
have a
argument.
reason. You guys always have a reason for the opposition, right?
D1,
to say that,
D1, we do have a time. D1, we do have a time
continue,
limit.
nigga.
Let's say my bad, D1. Just say my bad, D1, for not treating him with the same respect. I'll do it next time. Just do that instead
My
of
bad, D1.
D1, we are on a time limit.
Stopping someone who was respectful.
D1, we are on a time limit.
Alright, let's be real though, Ken. Just really quick on that. That's a really, really gray line of morality right there. That's like just really iffy. Like they're technically both of them are right. D1's right and they're right. I mean, at least he does apologize and say my bad for what he thought was done, whatever. Then again, like even like with D1, whenever he does his thing, whatever, like you know, like they're immediately to mute him, whatever, like blah blah. But like with Spencer, he doesn't get a mute either way, no matter what. Like, like they're both right. But I do get why they're not muting Spencer whenever he does apologize. Like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? He's not, you know. So, and then compared to what D1's doing.
Well, you see, the problem is, I don't 100% buy the idea that he didn't know he was done.
Yeah.
Just because it's not hard to listen to someone talk
and
just wait for them to, stop.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, no, but either way, like, if I had to choose a side, I would, once again, with D1 there. Because they continuously, instantaneously mute D1, regardless whether he's right or wrong, whatever, and then Spencer just free passes, you know what I mean, whenever he's fucking up, and etc. Or even when he is fucking up, they're not paying attention, they still don't mute him. Like, they need to do better with that. There's no fucking equity in that whatsoever.
Could we please get through this?
Now, right? So, he does say this thing before Kakashi gets hit with the ash bone. You even stated before that we read it from right to left. So on the right, it's Kakashi popping out his Susanoo. On the left, right, we see Zetsu saying this thing. And then, to the fucking right, we see his fucking muddy-ass face with the question marks, right? And then on the left, we see Kakashi getting hit with the ash bone.
D1, you were saying that the ash bone was launched because you're aware that the cost or the chakra cost of a jutsu would be...
Okay. Now I'm getting annoyed with, like, bro, what's the point of arguing the fucking sequence, whatever, blah, blah? That should be so straightforward, right to left, whatever, blah, blah, you name it. Like, and then either way, like, the main point Spencer is doing is that she's exponentially strong, blah, blah, whatever. Why isn't D1 attacking that directly? Why is he attacking all this sequence shit? That has nothing to do with what his main argument was. Am I tripping on that? Or, like, I don't understand why this is dragging.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was convinced that D1 was just confused on how to read a manga for some reason.
Like, what the fuck? Like, this is dumb. You know, like...
It's more semantics.
Yeah, it's like, come on, bro. Like, address his argument. It's a very simple argument. Very simple fucking scam.
Activation, right? Kaguya activates the jutsu before the statement is made. That is what I'm trying to tell you.
No, you don't know that. Prove that.
It's literally shown, chapter 689, pages 8 and 9. I posted the full scan. If you would please look at that. You don't know when D1, could you please quit over-talking me? Right. Could you please quit over-talking me?
You're gonna shotgun me.
Zaxby's Asian Sensation salads come with 2 salad sauces. And yeah, I said salad sauces.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just me, Ken. I don't see the relevance in regardless of the exact moment, whether if it's before or after. Like, bottom line is, the main point of him is just saying Kaguya's way strong, blah, blah. Like, he's trying to correlate a scaling argument. Like, this is, there's no reason for D1 to be nitpicking that. Like, that wouldn't help him either way.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the nitpick that he should be going for is the idea that just because he says it a few seconds later doesn't mean it only happens within that.
True.
If he has to nitpick at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's more understandable, because that's proper skepticism to basically, to be like, okay, great, yeah, whatever says that, but that could just be maybe, like at a particular moment. That could be, maybe for only a short amount of time. Doesn't mean it's forever. Like, we just don't know. You know what I mean? And kind of go along that route. You know what I mean? And you can kind of wiggle it and then try to make it go in favor for, that it's not an all automatic thing. Which, that's kind of technically further proven to a degree where, like, when Kaguya does, like, that full weird transformation shit, and she does the hand and, like, and all that, and et cetera, and you name it, but yeah, so, like, you have all that, but either way, yeah, this is weird, okay.
I'm just elaborating on the same point that I've said. You're not understanding, so it takes more precise explanation.
No, it doesn't, bitch.
So as I was saying, we see out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, out of the 11 manga panels on this spread, in panel 2, Kaguya activates the jutsu. In panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Zetsu makes the statement. And in panel 8, Kakashi seemingly gets hit.
Oh my fucking god, you fucking idiot. Once again, you're claiming that Kaguya activated the jutsu before the statement was made, right? What I'm saying is that you do not know when exactly the statement was made or when exactly Kaguya actually activated the jutsu. So what the panels is showing you does not dictate when the fucking jutsu was activated, right? Or when the statement was actually made. They can just be showing you the statement, right? And Kaguya could have activated the jutsu. We don't even know what fucking time. So what I'm saying is that
that wouldn't make sense. The whole point of a manga panels is to show it in chronological order. So like we would know exactly when Zetsu's saying that, right?
It's not the same.
Yeah, you would. So the way this isn't going to have any burden on the actual debate, obviously, but the way I would argue this is it's one of those things where Setsu is pointing out something that happened like beforehand, like when Naruto gets like the tail B stamps, and then somebody says, "Oh, he's gotten stronger." Like obviously he's not getting stronger within that second.
Yeah,
he'd already gotten buffed. It's just now just being stated. But that's the problem with D1's argument. He's not arguing that. He's just arguing when it was actually said.
Okay.
Really, it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's still irrelevant. Like, it's not addressing the main fucking claim regardless. And if D1 doesn't do that, then technically this point would go through for Spencer.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean, he's not mainly addressing the main concern and point, because the main point of this is, you know, he's saying that she got exponentially stronger, blah, blah, blah. So meaning, therefore, what my natural assumption, which I'm assuming he would say right after to connect the dots, is Sakura is able to hit, you know, this level of Kage that's like way, way more stronger than the other versions or whatever, you know, you name it. Or, you know what I mean? Or like obviously in comparison to Madara, which that's fine and all. But then again, when we analyze all the other, you know, points and you name it, whatever, that was more strongly favoring the D1. The only thing you disagreed though with was that whole air thing. You gave that still to Spencer. Me, I was just neutral, or maybe to D1. I don't know. But either way, like Spencer's more than likely gonna get this point, which is fine, of him proving that, you know, she's exponentially stronger. But like, I don't know, we're gonna have to listen and see the correlation, what he does with it. Either way, like, even if he like I said, he even gets the point. Bottom line is, if D1 was able to get all the other points, whatever, blah blah, like fucking, I don't see how this would upscale Sakura, because if he gets the other points, you name it, she only landed that attack due to those variables to begin with, not because she scales to this exponentially Kaguya. You get what I'm saying? So, but let's continue to let
I get you.
And go from there. But so far, Spencer is definitely winning this point, though.
It was actually activated, or when the statement was actually made.
D1. Do you agree that manga panels, with the
All right, do me a favor, Ken. Really listen. I'll be right back. Just keep listening. I'll be right back.
Can do.
Of flashbacks dictate a passage of time?
Flashbacks?
Yes, flashbacks. The idea of a story recounting a former event.
When does Kakashi get shows a flashback on himself?
I'm just making a general question. And I'm giving you an exception to the question.
Yeah, and I need to know the relevance of it.
There is no relevance. I am just making abundantly clear.
So if there's no relevance, I'm not answering. Okay.
Of the exception, there was no relevance to this specific case. So, do you agree that these manga panels are in a sequential order?
Alright, anything important or no?
We don't know.
So you're dictating that manga panels are
just the same stuff.
Okay.
They're still just arguing the order of the panels and how that works.
Okay, so they're just going in circles. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make the claim. Manga panels are in a sequential order, specifically in this sequence, because we see Kaguya grow the ash bones from her back, send them out, Kakashi react to them crash into the Susanoo, and then them hit Kakashi. That would dictate that these manga panels are in a sequential order, because that would be the order of events and of an attack being fired in an individual.
Once again, right? That's not a defeater to what I've been fucking presented. What I'm saying is that, right, Kakashi gets hit, right, after the statement is made.
Okay, can we conclude on this point and then go on to the last point of Kaguya over Madara?
Do you agree that Kakashi got hit after the statement was made?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now that's all I wanted fucking you to agree to. Like, I don't know why you just went on this fucking tangent.
Okay, so as I was saying, right, now that I've presented my argument,
all that for the agreement. Oh my god.
You've garnered the offense that you needed. Can we go on to Kaguya being stronger than Madara?
Melted to perfection.
Fucking
Try the
ads,
new
bro.
toasted baguettes from Panera.
I hate ads. Fucking A.
You think, since that ad played through on your thing, you think now they technically owe you money?
Yeah.
And that'll be our final point.
Kaguya being stronger than Madara. No, we're not fucking done. We wouldn't be done. You said Kage is stronger than Madara?
Yes.
I don't even see why that point is relevant. Do you not know why
Because
that point
would be?
Well, you know why that point would be relevant?
Why?
Because you're saying Kage over Madara, Sakura able to hit Kage, that puts automatically puts Sakura above Guy, which that's not the case.
Why not?
What's stopping Guy from replicating the same feat?
Because the scaling would end in Madara over Guy, or Sakura over.
And what I'm saying
D1. I wasn't done speaking. We are on a time limit.
I would like rush point, please, because I don't feel like hearing you explain things, right? Which I already know. Like, come on, say it.
What's stopping Guy from giving the same feat is my end scaling for Sakura over Guy.
That's it.
Yes, that's the only thing that's stopping Guy.
I don't give a fuck about your end scaling, bitch. What I'm saying that Guy, right, doesn't get the chance to fight Kaguya, so therefore he doesn't have the opportunity to replicate the same feat, you stupid bitch.
If
so
I
what I'm
dictate
saying is
that
that I'm not done. I'm not fucking done. Now, right? Guy, he doesn't get the opportunity.
That's actually understandable frustration, Ken, because once again, when Spencer interrupts, nothing is done. But when D1, he has to shut up or get muted. That was understandable.
Need to fight Kaguya. He fights Madara, right? Harms Madara to the point where Madara even states that you almost killed me with this attack. So what I'm saying is that Guy doesn't get to fight fucking Kaguya. So what is stopping Guy from replicating the same feat of Sakura? You're saying that
I already told you
Kaguya,
I'm sorry. You asked a question. You asked a question. I tried to answer it.
It's rhetorical. Mute him. Why aren't you muting?
That's a rhetorical question. That's not him directly asking a question for him to answer. Like, is he like? Am I tripping, Ken? Like that's a rhetorical question. It's a question for you not to answer, and it's connecting to his premise and his argument. Like, come on, like. And Spencer's intelligent enough to understand that.
I could see why you would make that mistake, but yeah, I know what it was rhetorical.
Like, and D1 has done that over and over. Like, that's a pattern in his when he's presenting his argument too. Like, that's nothing new. Like, and Spencer is definitely more than capable of being intelligent to understand that. So like, he's just being absolutely ridiculous right now. And then of course they're allowing it for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then D1's Mr. Criminal again.
Question, not the bad.
Did you mute him? Did you mute Spencer? Yes or no?
Yeah, Spencer is muted.
Thank you.
Oh now, shit! I just realized Monoichi was there too. Ken, I see him in there.
It was just me being rhetorical, bitch. Now, once again.
Yeah, see, I was right. It was him being rhetorical. Which, mind you, that's not like an okie doke or D1 pulling that out of his ass, and I'm pretty sure Ken would agree because D1 has done that over and over and over. Like, that's a continued, like, predictable pattern of behavior that he's done. That's not the first time he's done that. So, and mind you, Spencer never acted that way or thought he was asking a question either,
Yeah, just shut the fuck up. Now, what I'm saying is that what is stopping Guy, right, from doing the same feat Sakura has, right? When Guy doesn't get the same chance that Sakura has to punch Kaguya, right? So we do not know.
Hey, give me one moment, Ken. I'll be back. Hang on. Alright, Ken, I'm back. My bad. Wait. You there, brother?
Yep, I'm still here.
Alright.
Like,
Almost done,
you
man.
say you're a moderator, but you're doing a terrible job. Like, they keep interfering. Alright, right. Now, you're just saying Sakura, right? Above Sakura being able to harm Kaguya, Kaguya above Madara, therefore Sakura AP should be over guys. No, that is not necessarily the case, right? Because Guy, right, doesn't get to fight Kaguya, so we doesn't know if he can be able to harm Kaguya just like Sakura did, right? So what you're saying is flawed, bitch. So just because Sakura harmed somebody that's over Madara and Guy harmed Madara but didn't get the chance to harm Kaguya doesn't mean that Sakura AP is above Madara. That is like saying fucking Naruto fights up against fucking Kakazu, right? And he fucking harms Kakazu, right? And then we get fucking Sasuke, right? Fights up somebody stronger than fucking Kakazu, right? And then he's able to harm that person. It doesn't necessarily mean that Sasuke AP is above Naruto's, right? It just that means that Naruto just fought against somebody that was weaker and was able to harm that person weaker. Doesn't mean that Naruto can't harm that same person.
Are you done?
Now, I'm done.
Okay. So, I was going to present scaling.
What do you think on that, Ken?
What specifically, if you don't mind?
What D1 was saying, like his main thing with the whole who over who and why that could technically not like work or be a fallacy or just false. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like if you have like basically what he said in simple terms is like if Naruto hurt Kakasu and then Sasuke hurts someone that's stronger than Kakasu, but Naruto didn't be able to fight that particular person, that wouldn't necessarily prove that Sasuke's AP would be stronger than Naruto. So like meaning therefore like what he's saying is like, you know, Naruto could be just as strong to fight the person Sasuke fights, even though Sasuke's stronger than Kakasu. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean necessarily that would make Sasuke's AP better than Naruto, because Naruto could be able to scale there as well, or replicate the same feat, but it never happened because he didn't fight that particular person. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, what D1's saying, and I get what's trying to be gone for, but it doesn't make any sense, especially when we consider the fact that Madara did get more powerful because he does get another Rinnegan, and Kaguya is just stated to be more powerful than him.
Yeah. No, I know that. I'm just like, what's it called?
It's kind of like that time when I'm sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, you're good. What's it called? It was like I said, I was just asking like what you felt on it. Like that's basically like the sum of what he was saying, which I get what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like I understand like the direction he's going with. Like for instance, like if you have, you know, like if you have person fucking A and he fights person B, and then fucking you know, and then you have like person C fights person D, and then you know like that person like is able to fuck up that guy which was stronger than the person B. You know, I'm probably making it sound even more complicated. Either way, like all because you know a character doesn't get to fight the other character doesn't mean he can't replicate the same feat. You know what I mean? Because let's say like you know Naruto, I don't know, beats fucking what is it? Naruto beats Pain or whatever, and then fucking like that's like Sage 1 Naruto, and then you know, but we never get to see like, you know, EMS Sasuke be able to fucking fight Pain or whatever. Then therefore Naruto should just automatically have like higher AP than EMS Sasuke, like no matter what, blah blah. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if it's really getting. I'm not really gonna try to fucking explain it because I'm already exhausted with this goddamn debate.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where see that what you're saying makes sense just because it's not as direct.
Yeah.
But the problem with this is there is just that direct line of scaling. It'd be basically because a more similar thing to this would be like if the owners sit there and go, Hedon's weaker than Kakazu and Kakazu's weaker than Pain, but we don't know if Hedon couldn't fight Pain based off the fact that we didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's like no, because we have a direct line of scale here.
Oh
and
yeah,
he just
for
needs
sure.
it,
And that would still make it redundant, blah blah. Exactly. You know, like I said, like what D1's basically just trying to do is like, you know, you have like Naruto beats Kakasu or whatever, and then but since Sasuke like, you know, didn't like didn't fight like Kaksu or whatever, and let's say he fights, I don't know, fucking Hit On or something, or someone that scales below Hit On and beats him, and then like I don't fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, therefore, like, Sasuke couldn't do anything to that Kaksu or whatever. Like, that's kind of like the line of reasoning where he's going. But no, I get exactly what you're saying. Like, if it all connects and that person's over this person, whatever, then it should be able to go through. So I know what you mean. Like, I know what D1 is saying, but at the same time, like, I don't know. That's just what it is. But yeah. I was just curious what you thought on that.
Sakura equal to people that are stated above Guy. That was what I said by my end scaling. So if you'd be quiet, be quiet. If you would be quiet enough to listen to my arguments instead of strawman me repeatedly like you just did, you would understand that that's the case. So could you please be quiet while I present my argument? Okay. So, you're aware that the Night Guy from Guy onto Madara only dented the God Tree, correct? Are you aware of this or not, D1?
I don't have to answer anything you say, bro.
Okay. So, I'll just go get it. That's fine.
Alright, go get it. Good boy.
I mean, you would have some sort of burden to interlock with me, so you would, by proxy, have to answer.
Fetch me, doggy. Fetch.
You would have to answer the things that I.
What is happening right now?
Accusations,
oh my
salads
god,
come
this
with two
moderator
salads.
is so ass, dude.
Sauces. And yeah, I said salad sauces.
D1. Why? That's my only question. Why?
Fetch.
Okay. So, Guy kicks Madara at full force with his Night Guy attack into the God Tree. Madara is implanted into the God Tree, but the God Tree is not broken. Naruto, on the other hand, with an attack that he also is not forcing into the God Tree, right? He just throws it and it hits the God Tree, is able to slice the God Tree in half. This means that non-QB Chakra, 6-Pass Naruto, is greater than the Night Guy.
No, it doesn't. No, right, let me explain why. Right, we know different attacks does different things, right? We know that the attack that Naruto using is a Rasen Shuriken and is a wind style attack infused with lava style, right? But we know that the Rasen Shuriken is used to cut the wind. This was elaborated back in like early Shippuden when Kakashi was giving Naruto infusing his chakra into paper and seeing how the paper turns out. When Naruto infused his paper, the paper cut. Right? When Kakashi did it, it crumbled because his lightning is lightning nature. Right? Naruto was able to cut the God Tree because his attack is used for cutting. Right? Guy technique, which is just taijutsu, right, which he kicked Madara into the God Tree. Right? There's a difference. The Rasen Shuriken actually hit the God Tree, and what Guy did would damage. Most of the damage went towards Madara and not the God Tree. Where as far as the fucking Rasen Shuriken went towards the God Tree after cutting Madara in half. Right?
That's
and we
not
know that
true.
the Rasen Shuriken
That's
is meant
not true.
for cutting.
And I'll explain as to why. Naruto's attack also is not aimed at the God Tree. It actually hits the God Tree in an off angle, off the axis of its root, and not towards the center. And yet it still performs. Be quiet, D1. I'm not done. Yet it still performs a clean cut upon the God Tree, even though it hit at an off angle. Now, on your argument of the Rasen Shuriken's ability to cut, the Rasen Shuriken, in its wind style state, yes, it does cut on a cellular level, but these are mismatched cuts and not a clean cut. As whenever Naruto is carrying the Rasen Shuriken and he gets hit with it with Kakuzu, it simply cuts on a cellular level, but does not cut his arm off or shred his arm. So yes, while it cuts at such a minute level and with such lack of accuracy that it is not good for cutting things in two.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay, so I'm going to respond to that real quick. So, the first thing was with the whole correlation that, like, Guy attacks Madara, but only makes a dent in the tree. and then Naruto does, his thing and is able to cut Madara and cut the tree in half, whatever. Okay, so, I mean, like, therefore, like, fucking, Naruto over Guy, and, blah, blah, whatever. So, like, the whole Naruto over Guy thing, like, it makes sense. I get that. Like, I don't really have an issue with that line of, like, the scaling thing or whatever. So, like, I understand what he's doing in direction. And then D1's response was, like, the reason why I know it doesn't go through is because Guy, like, he has a physical blunt attack, and all the force and blunt trauma went towards Madara's body. So when he hit the tree, that's why I only made a dent on the tree. Compared to Naruto using a lava style, wind style, rising shuriken, a massive one as well, is made for cutting, you name it, lava, and all that, blah, blah. And so therefore it went through Madara, and it also went through the tree, and then Spencer says that wasn't true, and then says like some other whatever, which that's not correct. Like, D1's right on that with the whole cutting thing. It does cut through Madara and the fucking Divine Tree. So I don't know why Spencer denied that, but either way, regardless of the whole cutting thing and everything, unless I'm tripping, Ken, like, D1 is addressing it, but he's not really addressing the scaling, if that makes sense. Because, like, basically what Spencer's argument was is very simple, straightforward, like, who's over who. Like, let's say if Guy did scale that far enough as well, then shouldn't, like, Guy have, like, kicked Madara, he takes damage, or he would have kicked right through Madara or whatever, and then also kicked through the fucking whole tree and, like, blew it up, or even got, like, Madara hitting the tree, that should have just made Madara go through the tree as well, but it didn't, just made a dent. So, like, I can see what Spencer's, like, route and direction and why, whatever, and I can kind of see what D1, but, like, then again, it's like, I don't know, like, that's just really complex. It's weird. Because, like, D1 technically is right in the sense of the whole cutting thing, but then, but fucking Spencer is technically right with the whole scaling thing, So, I don't know, bro. Like, what do you think on that, Con?
It's one of those things where either or could probably argue their point a bit better.
Exactly. Like, it's just weird, you know what I mean? So, like, but, like, I get both sides. But either way, like, what I will say right now is, unless I'm wrong, Ken, I don't remember D1 ever addressing the exponentially thing, blah, blah, whatever. So that still went through. I'm just putting that out there right now. Like, yeah, I know they're, like, it's so weird. Like, they went from there, and then now they're going off to all this stuff. Like, I know technically all this correlates to that whole main scan, but it's like, are they moving on to all these other points, or is it all just still correlating to that one scan? Like, because they haven't done conclusions yet with that main point, Like, I'm like, what the fuck's happening?
I think they're just gone off on a tangent. I think they left that.
Okay, so you think they did left that? All right, yeah. So, but regardless, like, I'm just still putting that out there. Spencer did get that, but either way, we already spoke or whatever. But that's that. So we'll just continue and keep going from here. If I'm right, then this is gonna still correlate back to the beginning of that scan of Kaguya being way over, whatever. Which, because eventually, like, that was the main thing, and then eventually D1's like, no, I see what you're trying to do with this whole argument, like, this, therefore, whatever, and that's not true, and then they went to all that stuff, so, I don't know.
Right, you're just showing me what I just said. First of all, what the fuck I just said is that I didn't say that the fucking Rasen Shuriken was aimed at the God Tree. What I said was that we know the Rasen Shuriken is a wind-style technique, and just because it's infused with lava does not mean that its nature is changing. It's still a wind-style attack.
It
right?
literally
and
does.
Now, I'm not
this
done,
is literally a lava-style Rasen Shuriken.
I'm not done.
I'm You strawmanned me.
Thank you. Right? It is still a Rasen Shuriken, right, infused with chakra from a Jubi, right? And now it went through the God Tree, and it was able to cut through the God Tree because we know wind-style attacks are meant for cutting. The difference between Guy Taijutsu is that most of the damage went towards Madara, and as he kicked Madara, Madara flew into the God Tree, right, and put a crater into it, right? So two different types of attacks, right, create two type of outcomes, right? And that is the reason why. Just because you're saying oh, it was able to cut through the God tree, and since Madara just put a dent in it, it just means that Naruto AP is on a higher level. No, it does not. It just means that these two different attacks have two different outcomes, which are already established before.
Melted to perfection. Try the new toasted baguettes from Panera.
So there you go with D1 to kind of explain that, which it makes sense. I get, like, if you really listen to D1, it makes sense. Like, so for instance, like, if you have Guy, like, do the Night Guy and he charges up and he fucking, like, you know, like, hits Madara, you know what I mean? Like, let's say Madara's, like, right next to the Divine Tree as well and, like, he hits them, like, whatever, then, you know, that basically both of them should, like, go through, because when Guy hit Madara with the Night Guy, it was... they were away from the tree. You know what I mean? They were at a distance away. And when he hits Madara, like, Madara's being dragged, like, a big, large distance. You know what I mean? It's shown in the anime and the manga. And then eventually he hits the Divine Tree. So, I mean, that would create a different outcome. Now, if, like, Jimmy Madara was, like, right next to the tree, kind of like what Madara was with Naruto, or, you know, or let's say even Night Guy did Night Guy, like, on the Divine Tree as well, I think it'd be safe to say that Guy should be able to go through the tree as well and not just make a crater. Like, that'd be really weird for him not to. Like, bro, if Hiruzen can fucking destroy the so many parts of the Divine Tree with a staff, it's very disingenuous to say 8th Gate Guy can't do more damage as well. So I get what D1 is saying. Like, he's explaining it pretty well, whatever. I also get what Spencer's saying with his whole, like, who's over who, it's scaling, blah, blah, like, better feet, whatever, blah, blah. But with how D1 attacked and approached it, you know, there you go. But, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm fucking getting tired. It's almost about to be 5 in the fucking morning. But, you know, what do you think, Ken? Do you agree, or what do you think? You think this is neutral? Do you think Spencer got it? D1 got it?
Honestly, at this point in time, as far as this particular point, I don't know if I'd be able to reward this to anyone.
All right.
Honestly, there's a part of me that's still kind of tripping on the idea that D1 literally said Aowawa style, Rasen Shuriken is still only wind style.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll kind of just leave it there. It's either neutral, nobody got it, or D1 got it, but either way, that's kind of what you got. It's kind of similar to the whole air current shit in the beginning, at least in my opinion, was what I'm saying. That's kind of what Ken is doing right now. You know what I mean? Exactly how I felt with the air current shit in the beginning. So, anyways, let's continue.
We're all losers here.
Previously established why it was incredibly clear as to how this feat is greater.
I'm being real, Ken. This debate was very contentious. It was. I don't think at all it was a slam on either or side. Definitely a high diff win for whoever the winner will be once it's announced after. So that's just me. I don't know if you agree with that, but this is not a slam.
I agree.
Not a
so
slam.
So much for 45 minutes, though.
Yeah.
The offense of, it cuts things is negated by the level and inaccuracy with which it cuts. So I think we can move on. Because now that I presented Naruto scaling, I can go for Sakura equal to or specifically greater than this Naruto.
Oh, so you're just not going to attack my argument. I got it. All right, my argument just goes through because I definitely won that point. And if you judges say otherwise, I already know you guys are fucking stupid. Now, right, what I was saying, go ahead and present your argument about...
Okay. So here are two data book statements. One saying that Sakura... Or let me read them specifically, right? Now that they've grown up, she'll never fall behind, not even in collaboration with the two of them, talking specifically about her feat upon Kaguya. And then the other one states, and I quote, not losing to Naruto and Sasuke, she personally comes forth
What the fuck? He's showing Boruto now? Huh? How the fuck does that... Like, what? Okay.
I don't think that's Boruto Sakura. I think that's still technically Naruto.
Oh, okay.
Enemy Madara as her opponent.
Right? Well, the one on the right is Boruto. Because it's showing
I think that's still Naruto.
Oh, because the only reason I was saying that is because if you look in the middle, it says before, and it shows, like, Shippuden Sakura, like, you know, the war, blah, blah. And then the other ones, and then this one, let me see.
I think that's the last. I think that's Sakura from the last, which is still
Yeah,
technically Naruto.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But it wouldn't
So these are
be
two scans
that Sakura.
Yeah, exactly. The one he's referring, like that's something like that's like, huh?
stating that she's equal to Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto in his QB Chakra 6-pass form, and Sasuke in his Rene Shard or his Choku Tomoe Renegade form.
Okay, that's just blatantly contradicted. Like, I'm sorry, if you watch like the entire war thing, she is not on the same level as those two. Like, she's literally getting backpacked the whole time with Madara. Shit, like states inferior, being inferior to Madara as well. Then gets no diff by Madara when she tries to even attack him at full power. Like that's blatantly fucking contradicted. Not at all.
She flat out says at the end of the Kaguya fight that nothing she can do to stop Sasuke from leaving.
Exactly. Like she's not on the. Yeah, no, that's just no. That's easily debunkable. D1 should be able to easily deal with that. I'm just putting that out there. This is stupid.
Repeat that. I wasn't listening. I was reading chat. Go ahead.
Oh my God, D1.
Okay, why don't you focus on me instead of chat? You can't lose to chat. You can lose to me. Or, I'm sorry, you're not losing to chat. You're losing to me. Right?
The chat can have an influence on what the judges think. Yes, they can.
But you still lose to me. I was saying, the data book states very clearly, now that they've grown up, she'll never fall behind, not even in collaboration with the two of them, speaking about how she is not falling behind from QB Chakra 6-pass Naruto and Choku Tomoe Rinnegan Sasuke. And then the data book from the last states that in this moment when she is rushing at Madara, not losing to Naruto and Sasuke, again, QB Chakra 6-pass Naruto, Choku Tomoe Rinnegan Sasuke, she personally comes forth with a formidable enemy, Madara, as her opponent.
Bro, this is so easily contradicted and debunkable. Oh, he's doing some ratty ass. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, Ken, but Spencer's definitely trying to hit this ratty ass scaling right now. He's even referencing the Sakura that went to charge at Jubi Madara, and she gets no diffed. Okay.
Where's the scan that you just dropped?
I posted both of them. They're in scans chat.
D1 is not paying attention, bro. Come on.
What paragraph was you reading?
Bottom right corner in the first one. And
Bottom
then
right corner.
That's how I know D1's not even paying attention, because that's just instantaneously debunkable. Like Ken, like am I wrong? Like, you don't even need to look at or read exactly. Like if you heard everything he just said, you could easily debunk that.
I mean, yeah, we both kind of did it in our own way.
Yeah.
Tab, the last one on the second one. I read them word for word.
Okay, I'll just say that this is contradicted through feats, right?
By what?
What we see, like Sakura literally saying that she is going to be a diversion for both Naruto and Sasuke, right? Do you know what her saying that her being a diversion implies?
That she can't seal them, or that she can't seal Madara?
Yeah, which is another way of her saying that she is useless in this battle.
Yeah, because she doesn't have the hacks that they gained that isn't that has no relevance. Wait, excuse me. That has no relevance at all upon the way that.
Wait, Spencer's kind of fucking himself right there, though. I don't know if you're catching that, Ken, or if I'm just tripping, but he's basically saying meaning she's useless because she has no hacks, whatever, blah blah. Okay, if you admit that and say that therefore she can't do anything, then therefore that means her taijutsu can't do anything to Madara.
He's going under the idea that the only way to kill Madara at this point in time is to seal him. Not necessarily that Sakura can't harm her or anything, but just that she can't do any everlasting damage because of his immortality.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But
I
wasn't his
completely
whole
forgot
premise?
that this debate was three-eyed Madara versus Sakura.
Yeah, but wasn't this his whole premise exactly beforehand? With Kage's, with apparently Sakura trying to being able to scale to Kage, blah blah, all this other shit, yada yada. Kage skills over Madara, blah blah, and then fucking literally
yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I mean? So if that was his whole thing before, which he did get the exponentially point, he did get that. While D1 did get all the other points before, which those are the main ones that matter in my opinion, because the whole thing is boiled down to the whole mentally amped scene with Sakura. But anyways, What's it called? But if he just admits that at this current moment, what's up? Because his whole argument right here was that the data book's basically saying that she's on equal level of Naruto and Sasuke. You know what I mean? And blah blah with the three-eyed Madara and etc. Which is blatantly not, which is not the case. It's contradictory, which is what D1 says. And then D1 says whatever, blah blah, to make it look really dumb and stupid. And then Spencer like chokes up in a way. And then he starts responding and admits and says, yeah, you're right, because she doesn't have the hacks, whatever, blah, blah. And then, and then it's going to go from there. So, like, we'll let it finish and see what Spencer says, but he kind of just dig himself a hole. That basically, he debunked himself in a sense. You know what I mean? Because then how can Sakura be...
D1 was paying attention. That was technically a concession.
Yeah, that was a concession. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That was a concession. Like... and obviously the judges aren't fucking paying attention because they didn't catch that either. Like, but like let's play that one more time. Like, I'm not tripping on that.
And that her being a diversion implies
that she can't seal them, or that she can't seal Madara.
Yeah, which is another way of her saying that she is useless in this battle.
Yeah, because she doesn't have the hacks that they gained that isn't that has no relevance. Wait, excuse me. That has no relevance at all upon the way that they fight or their power.
Yeah, so he agreed. He agreed and said, yeah, blah blah, with the hacks, yada yada, and then now he's saying it has no relevance. So, yeah, he literally just conceded that basically that Sakura is inferior to Three-Eyed Madara, meaning the whole connecting the dots with her being connected to Kage to scale up there, whatever, blah blah. All that kind of just falls apart because now he's backtracking and saying the whole thing with this Sakura. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a concession. It's one thing if he said, oh, that Sakura is just weaker. You know what I mean? That's why. But he didn't say that. Like, his whole thing is if Sakura scales to Sasuke and Naruto, blah, 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 then D1 makes that sound so dumb and retarded because, like me and Ken already said, that's easily debunkable. And it goes from there, and then he just basically concedes. And then D1 doesn't even, like, exploit that. The judges aren't fucking paying attention. Like, what? But okay. We caught that. Once again, unless I'm wrong, let me know, Ken. But you said it too, so...
Yes,
fucking, yeah.
I understand. You got your switch.
Honestly...
Once again, right, what I'm saying is...
What's up?
Honestly, from this point, we could call this over.
Yeah.
Because the debate is Sakura versus Three-Eyed Madara.
Yeah.
He at no point said Sakura is more powerful later on.
Yeah.
And he just conceded the idea that Sakura was like irrelevant against Madara.
Yeah. So that kind of does it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You let me know, Ken. Should we finish it out just to be generous for Spencer, whatever, or should we just kind of leave it there and that's it and D1 won?
I mean, I can't imagine there's any argument he can make outside of that concession now.
That's what I'm saying, because he did say that's not relevant, blah blah, and so I don't know if he's gonna further explain why, you know what I mean? But it's just he just conceded and blah blah. Once again, it'd be one thing if all he had to say was, oh, that's just a weaker Sakura, whatever. But
we're gonna play it a little bit longer because there's 10 minutes to see if anything happens. But I say, if he doesn't address that any moment soon, then we just call it.
Yeah. All right.
That she said, all she says is she's not gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna try to beat up Madara or anything. I'm useless in this fucking battle, so I'm just gonna be a diversion so that Naruto and Sasuke can attack Madara." Right?
That's
you can't. Hold on, wait. I'm not done. You fat ass bitch.
I apologize. I thought you were finished.
Now,
you just drone on so long. It's like I'm debating
doesn't
Demi.
even know that Naruto, right, and Sasuke have these seals, or that they're going to seal fucking Madara or Kage. She doesn't even know that she had these seals. She don't know what Hagoromo gave them or anything. So how can you just say that? Oh, Sakura saying that she's going to be a diversion because she doesn't have the hacks and stuff and abilities to seal Madara that Naruto and Sasuke have is the reason for her saying this. But she doesn't even know that she's going to seal Madara. Okay. It's just that she don't think that she can beat Madara at all.
I'll give two counter arguments. Well, no, that's an argument from silence. You're saying due to lack of her saying I'm going to beat up Madara, she has an inability to beat up Madara.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's a fallacious argument from silence. Be quiet, D1. Be quiet, D1. Thank you. Second, right? You have no evidence that Sakura has no knowledge upon the seals that were placed upon them. Third, I will give a counter interpretation, which is if Naruto and Sasuke get hit, they get injured, while she can regenerate from any damage that Madara can harm upon her. Now address all three arguments.
Now, I want you guys to mute him as fast as you mute me when he talks when I'm talking, okay? Bet. Now,
I've been muting him this entire time.
Repeat your first argument, Spencer.
Okay. The first argument is that it's a fallacious argument from silence for you to say, because it's never stated or she never says that she can beat up Madara, that she therefore cannot beat up Madara.
Okay, yeah, this is not...
Repeat that one.
Unless I'm tripping, Ken, he's still not, like, explaining why his concession is relevant. Like, he's just going to the whole...
He just... Yeah.
Like, he's not... Like, he's just... Now he's arguing the semantics of the whole meaning of why she's being labeled as a diversion, blah, blah, and he like, moved on to that whole thing. Like, he went from conceding... and then saying that's not relevant, blah, blah. And then I was like, all right, he's probably going to explain why it's not relevant. And then there you go. It should be fine. But now he's not doing that. He's just moving on to the whole fucking like what his meaning of the whole diversion, whatever, blah, blah, you name it, etc. And then D1's just like listening, and he made like 2 other points. So, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it is what it is. What's it called? I'm sorry, guys. All right, we're just going to conclude this here. So just to make things simple, it's already about to be 5 in the morning for me. I have work in about like fucking 2 hours. So that's going to be shitty for me. But anyways, you know, I'm just going to be real with you. From everything we heard, like, we're just going to go by a chronological order. Okay, it's going to be this simple. So the first main thing was the whole air thing, blah, blah, whatever. Because obviously if Sakura has no way to get up to Madara while he's flying, then GG's, he loses. So that was the first whole thing. Ken believed that it went to Spencer. What's it called? I believed either it was neutral or it went to D1. But that's basically what you had there. Then you have the other points. These are like the really, really important ones. And basically what these were was discussed was the whole, you know, whether if it was an off-guarded thing with Sakura and Kaguya and all that. D1 got that. What's it called? And then with the whole sensory thing, me and Ken also agreed that D1 got it. Then when it came to what was else that they also discussed? Help me out here, Ken. What was right after that? Okay, so I know what it was. It's they both concluded on the sensory thing, and then they kept on trying to add on with whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can't do that because if you both conclude, there's nothing more to add. You know what I mean? If you just conclude on that main point, that doesn't make any sense. You can't go back. So everything they were saying from there was kind of just, you know, not really relevant, whatever. And it with even like the fact that I don't even remember it is just goes to show that it wasn't just even important. Even if we had to put into consideration, me and Ken were just still reacting and responding to it overall, whether or not if it was like correct or not, or what we thought of it. And then obviously, you know, from there. But it goes on from there, and then correct me if I'm wrong, Ken. Then that's when they start talking about fucking the whole limbo shit. Like, whether the whole physical, reality, fictional shit, or the ghost man physically also, like, all this irrelevant bullshit, okay? There's all that. A lot of moderating issues, a lot of no equity type issues as well, is mainly favored for Spencer. You know, things like that. And then eventually went further on to where they discuss the Kaguya exponentially thing, and the only thing D1 addressed there was like the sequence and blah blah, or like some other shit. I feel like Ken could probably explain that better for what D1 was trying to convey, or why his argument could maybe work or whatever, I don't know. But from what I remember and heard from that, I do feel like Spencer got that point because he never really addressed the main thing, which was the exponentially, you know, stronger, blah blah. But that was that, so I'll give that to Spencer. And then when it continued from there, then it just went on to the fucking guy and tree shit, and the Naruto and his shuriken tree shit, and D1 got that. And then basically went on to this bullshit with the whole Sakura now being equal to Sasuke and Naruto, and D1 makes that shit sound stupid as hell and debunks that shit effortlessly like any other person normally would be able to do. And then Spencer choked up because he realized how silly it sounded. And he literally conceded. He gave D1 a concession to Sakura being inferior to that Madara. And meaning, like, because she doesn't have hacks, blah, blah, whatever, she can do it and yada, yada, with the whole diversion. So, like, he conceded all that. And then said it's not relevant. And then instead of him explaining why it's not relevant, he moves on to the whole, let's discuss the semantics of what diversion means, or blah, 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 and then provides like 2 other random points. That's basically what happened. So, with all that being said, D1 wins, okay? You know what I mean? Like, even if the concession didn't happen, D1 still won the main points. And I'm pretty sure Ken also agreed with that as well from my memory. So D1 would have still more than likely won, and it would have just been high diff. But the fact that, like, let's say somehow Spencer got all that, and then fucking it got back to this same point, and then Spencer conceded, then D1 still would have won. Because Spencer just basically debunked himself and flipped his scaling. Am I wrong or right, Ken? Is that where we're at?
No,
overall?
you're right.
Okay. So that's basically what it is. And at the end of the day, guys, like, before I have any toxic haters in my chat, whether they're Six Goons or Spencer Goons, whatever the fuck it is, and you guys start saying either me or Ken are retarded or we're dumb or whatever, blah, blah.
Losers.
Yeah, like, if you guys start going all crit, whatever, well, that's not going to hurt my feelings. That's not going to hurt Ken's feelings. You can cry all you want. At the end of the day, we listen to the facts. We listen to what was presented in the recording. And it's as simple as fucking that. You know what I mean? This was definitely not a slam. This was a contentious debate. I will give that for both sides. High diff, 4D1. Okay. What's good? And even if Spencer won, it would have been high diff for him as well. But regardless, D1 won this debate. He would have won regardless without the concession, and he would have won most definitely with the concession either way. Regardless if Spencer even got the previous or whatever, blah, blah. It's basically as simple as that. You know, it is what it is. Like, if this was in any debate tournament or whatever, and we had reasonable people, like Jordan, if he heard that, he would have been the same shit. Oh, that's a concession, GG's, whatever, blah, blah. You know, so, like, we're not the only ones. Very reasonable. It is what it is. But either way, you guys let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Let me know who really won the debate, why, your reasons, etc. Like I said, if you're going to just be toxic and hate with me and Ken, whatever, that's fine. I'm just going to dismiss it, not really going to entertain it. Or I might troll you back, whatever, just for craps and giggles. That's basically as you know, as far as we're going to get with this. You know, and like I said, overall thoughts, very contentious debate. It was interesting. And that's about it. You know, and there were certain things that kind of annoyed me to a degree, because I do feel like there's a lot of favoritism with Spencer. They both fucked up, putting that out there as well. But definitely a lot of favoritism for Spencer, though. Yeah, that's basically it. Do you have anything to add with that, Ken, or should we just conclude?
I have nothing to add. I'm good.
All right. Appreciate you. And yeah, that'll basically be it for this video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, subscribe guys to the channel. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace.